Welcome back to the Tavern, folks. How are we all doing? My name is Key. We are live for another big World Cup knockout game. Senegal, the Lions of Teranga, face Belgium's Red Devils. Rudi Garcia against Pape Thiaw. The AFCON champions that had the AFCON trophy stolen away from them. Against the Belgium side that weren't that long ago ranked number 1 in the world. They are almost the World Cup, just I guess international football's biggest underperformers, aren't they, Belgium? For so long, everyone thought they'd be the best team in the world. They've now got a squad that's quite old, quite aging, but they can still produce in the big moments. We know they absolutely can. They've got some real talent in there, like De Bruyne, like Trossard, like Courtois. There's real talent in there. And can they do it? There you go. Look at that. Someone's got an actual lion's head in the Senegal stand there. I don't know if it's a real lion's head. I would assume not. But yes, it's going to be a really, really interesting game, this one. We'll go through the lineup shortly. Hopefully you'll join me for this one. And maybe for the USA v Bosnia game tonight. That's a 1 a.m. kickoff. But before we get stuck into the live, we are 12 minutes to kick off. Let's give a big thank you, a big shout out to our friends of the channel, Oxford Natural. Oxford Natural are continuing to sponsor the Matchday Tavern throughout this World Cup. And if you're looking to kickstart your health journey, if you're looking to get your health journey into the knockout rounds, that's a really terrible shout, isn't it? If you're looking to make positive changes and you're looking to, like I said, maybe move towards that summer bod, then you could do a whole lot worse than having a look at Oxford Natural and looking at the great results that they're helping people who we all know and love in our community, right? In our football world. Michael Owen, Ballon d'Or winner Michael Owen, KG, Robbie from AFTV, lots of people we know have done really well out of Oxford Natural, specifically the Optimum Day and Night supplements, but there's a whole host of things they have. Go and check them out. You can get 70% off your first order with code KEY70. There is no magic pill with these things, we know that, but again, it's a long burn process. But if you want to start the process, if you want to start thinking about your health and you're looking at maybe, you know, getting into shape for summer, then this is a great way to start. Go and check them out. Oxford Natural, big thank you yet again. And with that said, let's get stuck into today's game, folks. Where are you? There you go. We've got the chat back. Who am I missing in the chat? Sarah, good to see you. City of Northville. Ian, semi-finalists. Here we come, England. Oh, God, please don't. Tom, who else have we got in the chat tonight? Hiller, good to see you. See, there's been a big discussion about Manchester United, probably after the Tonali news breaking. How are we doing, little Philly? Adam, 3-star. Finners Matty. George, how's it going? Hi, Key. Hi, chat. I celebrated wildly when England won. However, it was a horrific performance. I think the officiating was a bit shaky. But if you want to win the World Cup, you've got to play through it. That's not a bad shout. Okay. Well, before we get stuck into the live, because we've got 9 minutes to kick off. The players are just walking out now. Let's have a little look at the lineups for this one, because there are some interesting changes worth making note of. So you've got, for Belgium, they've got Thibaut Courtois in goal, no surprise there. Timothy Castagne at right back, Brandon Michaela and Arthur Thiaw at centre back. It's Maxim de Kuiper of Brighton on the left. In midfield, they've gone with Yuri Tielemans and Hans van Aken alongside him. No place for Amadou Onana in that midfield. I would have thought we'd have seen him in there, but he drops out. And then it's a front three well, front four, I guess. Trossard on the right, Doku on the left, Kevin De Bruyne in that number 10, just behind Charles de Ketelaere. Charles de Ketelaere. Lukaku is on the bench, as is Senna Lamens, Fernandez Pardo, Luca Bacchio, Diego Moreira. Surprised to see Ngoy left out as well. I know he was suspended in the last game, but Ngoy left out. For Senegal, they've made a few changes as well. So Thiaw is in goal, Jacobs, Niakate, Sis and Diatta at the back. That is a surprise that they've left out. Well, they've left out quite a few. I mean, no Kalidou Koulibaly. Koulibaly's on the bench. Where's Edouard Mendy? Oh, he's got a knee injury. Edouard Mendy out, so they've got the backup keeper in. No Ibrahim Mbaye either on the wings. They've gone with a midfield of Gay, and Diarra. It's double Gay in the midfield for Senegal. It's Pape Gay and Idrissa Gay. Idrissa Gay currently out of contract with Everton. He's no longer tied to a club at the grand old age of 36, nearly 37. Will we see him in the Premier League again? And alongside those two is Sunderland midfielder Habib Diarra. And then it's Sadio Mane, Ismail Assar, and Iliman Ndiaye. Iliman Ndiaye it is, isn't it, up front? Sadio Mane, Ismail Assar, and Iliman Ndiaye start as the front three. Nicholas Jackson left on the bench. Mam Biram Diouf is in the stands. Who are we talking about here? I'm going for the Senegal win. I think Belgium have 3 good players overall. Doku, De Bruyne. I'll sneak in Trossard. Reese, evening pal. Just about regained my breath. Can't see past Senegal here, can you? No, I've gone Senegal as well, but I think Belgium can certainly do it. Arrogant says Belgium is extremely bad, but I hope they will win. Fair enough. Matty, we played rubbish, but to be fair, that keeper was keeping them in the game. Think Pickford should have done better for the goal. Yeah, Pickford was miles off it for me. Absolutely miles off it. Should have done loads better. I'm really surprised by that Senegal lineup. Pape Matar Sarr from Tottenham left out. Assane Thiaw left out. Lamine Camara left out. El Hadji Malik Diouf left out. Nicholas Jackson left out. Kalidou Koulibaly left out. There's a whole host of people on the bench there for Senegal that I would have guaranteed starters. Really surprised by that. Sarah, hey Key, have you heard the last time England came from behind to win they won the World Cup? Depends how much stock you put into those omens, I guess. But yeah, the breaking news everyone's talking about is Sandro Tonali to Tottenham. Sandro Tonali to Tottenham. £100 million. What do we make of that? Tottenham Hotspur back in the top 5 next year. What are we saying, folks? Who goes against it? Spurs finished 12 points behind the European places last year, and that was without Kudus, that was without Maddison, that was without Kulusevski. You now throw in the likes, and obviously multiple manager changes throughout that as well. You now talk about a serious manager who is going to be consistent throughout the season. And you add in Sandro Tonali and Mateus Fernandes. I genuinely think Spurs will finish in the top 5, top 6. I really do. Hiller says, you say LFC need experience. You should sign Idrissa Gay. He's free. I mean, I think we will sign someone who's maybe 28 and older. I think we'll get that sort of a player, that profile of a player in midfield. We need just an extra body in there. It's very important we do it. How's it going, Anfield Vortex? Will says, do you think there could be an element of panic spending after 2 years of 17th? I mean, I wouldn't go that far. They've always spent a little bit of money, you know, Spurs. They've always been quite... Yeah, they've not. I wouldn't go as far as saying they've been frugal. Andy, they're signing Tonali, Robertson, etc. We signed Palestra. So what's up with that, Andy? Who do you think are who's made the better signing there? I think Spurs are making the inroads, aren't they, with Tonali and Robertson. Palestra, very talented young player, but I'm not sure that's an immediate win for Chelsea there. Matty says we are linked to Mane from Wolves, apparently. Again, yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at all, Mateus Mane. Shahid, hello, Key, and everyone in the chat. Should be a good match. Andy, Spurs, that's what I mean. Ah, right. I didn't know where you were coming from on that. I thought you were saying Chelsea had done well there. Liam Witter says, stay away from Mane, please. Oh, are you a Wolves fan, Liam? Somehow, I think we'd probably be interested or happy to loan him back to you. City of Northville, their salary hovers around that of bottom teams. Spurs signing quality. Chelsea are signing unheard of kids. Chelsea have got to tread carefully, though, with the old PSR, haven't they? I am indeed. Hey, we'll be watching a fair bit of Wolves this season, mate. We do watch-alongs throughout the season on the Championship and stuff. And I was gutted Wolves went down, genuinely. I'd like to see Wolves get back up. And I think you will. I mean, I've got to say, I was disappointed the way that Rob Edwards was treated. So, I like Wolves as a club, but I've got to say, I'm pretty disappointed in how you've been run there. Same with Marinakis, actually. I think, in the nicest possible way, I like 3-star. I have no problem with Forest to club the fans or anything, but I desperately want Forest to get relegated now. Not only because they take 6 points off us most seasons, but I just desperately want Forest to go down now. The way Mr. Marinakis is behaving, I thought the way that he behaved with Vitor Pereira was absolutely despicable. I don't know if you've seen it. I don't know if you've heard what's happened with him. But basically they had an agreement that they could sack him, they could let him go without any compensation before June the 30th. That was written into the agreement that they originally signed with Vitor Pereira. And it was obviously before everything happened in terms of him coming in and keeping them up and, getting them to the European semi-final and, really did well with Forest, I thought, Vitor Pereira. He deserves credit for that. And there was conversations the day before saying, yeah, let's do, they were talking about where they were going for pre-season, they were talking about transfers, and then 2 minutes to midnight, 11:58 p.m, just before the expiry of that clause, Mr. Marinakis emailed Vitor Pereira and said, you are sacked. You're gone. We are relieving you of your duties, terminated. And I think that's an absolutely awful way of going about it. I really do. I think that's a terrible, terrible way of going about handling a professional football club. And I think Forest fans would quite rightly be ashamed about that. Liam says, yeah, we've done Rob dirty, but looks like Jorge Mendes is bringing his guys in. And Liam, I think we should with Raul and Trippier, to be fair. Yeah, you've got some good players in there. Andy, Chelsea spent over $1 billion. We should have Mbappe, Kane and Haaland at least. And Kevin Flynn, the Greek is a bully. Oliver Glasner going to Nottingham Forest. I feel bad for him. He deserves better than that horrendous owner. He shouldn't have accepted the job. I mean, that's true enough as well. I don't think anyone accepts the Forest job and thinks, oh yeah, this is going to be a nice smooth ride. He seems like a reasonable fella, that owner, doesn't he? But at the same time, I think, yeah, I feel like that's a real problem. If you're a Forest fan, I'm not sure I'd want that guy representing us. Spurs to finish above Man City next season, says Will. Probably not above Man City, no. Unless there's significant charges thrown their way. But I think Spurs could make top 5. Wouldn't rule that out. Glasner could have been patient for a few months and been United's new manager. again, honestly, I still don't think that's out of the question. Because I do think Carrick's going to go, probably within the next 3 to 6 months. I think it'll be quite quick. Especially given the poor start to the summer transfer window for Man United. I think a few thought that they would have maybe some more wrapped up by now. Key signings going to other clubs. The one big signing that they have made, bit underwhelming in Ederson. Doesn't really fill me with confidence, Ederson. Jamie Vargas says, that's the new way these owners communicate at these clubs. They fired you by text or email and not in person. It's astonishing that though, isn't it? I always feel like if you've got bad news to deliver to someone, you should always deliver it in person. Never, ever over the phone. Never, ever by... I mean, email and text is proper shitty. That's cowardly. If you've got bad news to deliver, you always deliver it in person. Always. And that's coming from someone who's sacked people and you know, had to give bad news. It's not nice. It really isn't nice. But you have to do it in the right way. You can't just email a guy 2 minutes before a clause expires and says, right, you've lost your job. Philip Bidwell, how's it going? Shahid says, this is the first match played in San Francisco. Is it really? Is this at the 49ers stadium? I am Crute says, have they still not got Ederson wrapped up? Yeah, they've got him. Yeah, he's theirs. Spurs are winning the Premier League if they get a quality striker. Well, apparently the next target for Spurs, believe it or not, is Krupi. That's who they're next going in for. They've gone and got Matheus Fernandes. They've gone and got Tonali. There's now a very, very big push for Spurs to go for Krupi. Johnny says, I'm pretty sure this is Seattle. It is Seattle, yeah. It's Lumen Field. I did think it looked familiar. Yeah, it's not in San Francisco, Shahid. It's in Seattle. George says the worst way to be sacked is being told you're still manager and then you get a text by your friend saying Romano said you're sacked. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, Rob Edwards, that is Rob Edwards, isn't it? Rob Edwards' family members actually contacted him and said, do you know Wolves have just appointed a new manager? And he was like, what are you on about? I'm Wolves manager. No. Sorry, Robbie. It's not anymore. City of Northville, who's even left for United to go and get in the midfield area? Chouameni, maybe Camavinga. Here's Iliman and Dye, good pass. Belgium just about get it away. And great play by De Bruyne there, but too easy. This one feels like it'll go to extra time, says Callum. Yeah, I think it might be as well. I mean, Senegal, for all they are, I think they're a very good football inside Senegal, but they really lack quality at the top end of the pitch. Iliman and Dye is a wonderful dribbler. Can't finish. Can't cross, can't finish. He's got no end product at all, Iliman and Dye. Wonderful dribbler, though. Can beat a man, can drop a shoulder, run past a few. But when it actually comes to playing the pass, he so frequently gets it wrong. Mistimes it, overhits it, underhits it. You know, there's always something with Iliman and Dye. He's got something like 2 assists in 2 seasons of Premier League football combined. It's like 2 or 3 assists. It's really, really low number. And he's also doesn't create many big chances. There was a spell last season where Ashley Young had more assists. 40-year-old Ashley Young had more, not assists, had more big chances created than Iliman and Dye for Everton. And he'd left the club 6 months prior. So he's a very, very talented player. Very good dribbler, but just doesn't quite do the basics. Doesn't do the basics. Jamie, I was in the military for 20 years and I've demoted people in my unit before. Also talk to them in person. That's it. You've got to do it that way, haven't you, Jamie? Absolutely right. Long throw into the box. Belgium flick on. Senegal clear it away. Rob says San Fran has also hosted 5 games as well. The 6th and final one is USA v Bosnia. Oh, okay. Well, maybe we'll watch that one then. Reese with the clause. Still not stand if the email was sent before midnight. Not after. Perhaps I'm being too literal. No, the clause was sent before midnight. That's my point. It was sent 2 minutes before midnight, so it does stand. They don't have to pay him any compensation because it was built into the original agreement. Jamie Vargas, I'm calling 2-2, and this one goes to penalties. Johnny says, with the Spurs business that's been done, they should qualify for Europe, but De Zerbi might have a meltdown mid-season. The big thing for Spurs, I just think, is fitness. I think if they can get through the season with players remaining fit, they'll be fine. But as we saw last season, there was some real serious injury issues that they kept having to deal with. And that could just be bad luck. But I think if Spurs have a serious sort of season with very little fitness issues, very little injuries, that don't compound throughout the season, they can be a real threat on that top 5, top 6. Maddison's a wonderful player. Kudus is very talented. I've spoke many times about how highly I rate Kulusevski. If they're all fit, Spurs are a real problem. And it then makes that top 6 look incredibly congested because, you know, in the nicest possible way, Chelsea, Spurs, Liverpool, Arsenal, Manchester City, Man United, all of them will expect to finish in the top 6 this season. Well, in the top 5, won't they? They'll all have Champions League qualification on their mind. Villa probably as well. Mark Moss, good to see you. Here's Belgium down the left-hand side. De Bruyne. He's got an overlap here if you can find him. Must hit it. Oh, good defending. Really good defending, that. Dancing round the edge of the box. Good strike. Good save. Nick Penn. How keen are you on Colombia? I like them. Yeah, I think they'll beat Ghana for sure. DC, put Senegal to beat Belgium. What do you reckon, Key? I don't think they'll do it in 90 minutes, mate. I think this one might be a 0-0 or a 1-1. Senegal have not got real finishers at the top end of the pitch. That's my worry. Neither of these two are very clinical. Lots of very good players, you know, organisation in midfield, and, you know, they've got a little bit of quality here and there, but just not at the top end of the pitch. Unless De Bruyne pulls something wonderful out the bag, or maybe Ismaila Sarr, Sadio Mane do something wonderful. I think it could be 0-0, it could be 1-1. Sarah says, my neighbour took his England flag down at half-time and has now put it back up. Someone's got no trust in the team. And Ree says, what prospective future manager in their right mind would opt to go and work under such a morally bankrupt fruitcake, in which case? That's speaking about Nottingham Forest, that, by the way. Well, Oliver Glasner is the answer to that question, because he has done. And, you know, it's undeniably a downgrade, isn't it? Newcastle have agreed a deal for Bouna Touré from Hoffenheim. Have they really? Then that is a very good deal for Newcastle. Yeah, he's a talented boy, Bouna Touré. He's one that Liverpool have looked at. But, yeah, if they go and get him and they maybe get Manzambi as well, then, yeah, it's not a bad move, that one. I don't think maybe Bouna Touré is someone that's going to score lots, but he'll certainly create a lot. He's got bags of pace. He'll be a good option for Newcastle. Philip says, Key, what chance do you give of England beating Mexico to reach that last 8? I give us no chance, especially at the Azteca. Not sure about no chance, but I'd say it's probably 60-40 in Mexico's favour. Maybe even 70-30. Newcastle want Archie Gray too, and I think they'll get him. Honestly, I think they'll get him based on what we know about Spurs signing Tonali, and they've got Fernandes there, and they've got a few other players in that midfield area now. Lucas Bergvall might want to leave. Archie Gray might want to leave. There's a bit of a... Obviously, Conor Gallagher's still there. It's quite congested in the middle for Spurs. So I'm sure there's a fair few players might want to move on. Mexico batter this England team. Can see Mexico getting a clean sheet too. Very clinical, Mexico. Very, very clinical. Quinones, Jimenez, Mora. They've got players that can hurt England. And they won't hit the post where Congo hit the post and missed a couple of sitters. I don't think Mexico will. They'll take the chances. George, Liverpool will now be signing Archie Gray. It's just the rules. I would love that. Archie Gray is a very Liverpool signing. I'll take that now. Archie Gray would be a wonderful signing for us. I'd be delighted with that. Spurs transfer news. Spurs looking at Krupi as the next player. Yeah, we were just chatting about that. Yeah, I saw that. Good ball over the top. Here's Sadio Mane. Good pass. Good cross. Must be. How's that stayed out? Oh, unbelievable. Ismail Assar's got to put that away. Thibaut Courtois has a shocker. What is it with keepers at the minute? What is going on with keepers at this tournament? Fabulous play from Senegal. Sadio Mane makes a lovely little reverse pass. It's a great ball in from the left-hand side. Oh, it's a great ball. Jacobs it is who whips it in. And Courtois comes out and gets very little on it. Rich T-wrists. And Ismail Assar, he's falling over and he just manages to hit the post. In the end, he can't quite scramble it over the line. So close to 1-0. Spurs transfer news. Who will be Spurs front three? Krupi, Kudus, and who? I mean, if you get Krupi, Kudus, I would imagine you'll still have... I'd imagine you'd still have Thingy. Odeber. Would Odeber not be? I like Odeber a lot. I think he's a good player. Ian Key, who do you think will be in the semis? At this stage, I think I'd probably back Argentina and Mexico. I'm gonna say Argentina, Mexico. I think it's between Argentina and Mexico. I think England would beat Brazil, and I think England would beat Norway. Possibly, maybe not. Maybe we wouldn't beat Norway actually. I guess if Norway get past Brazil, then we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But I don't see England beating Mexico. If we do somehow beat Mexico, I could see us beating Brazil, but probably not Norway. And then we'd play Argentina in the semis, right? Retro Sean, Tottenham for the league then. I've seen that all day. England have to get past the altitude first. And Kieran says, I just want Spain or Mexico to win it, as I've got them in the sweep. Sticking with France key, I have from the beginning. I'm sticking with Spain. Long ball forward. Ismail Assar in behind. Thiaw comes across. It's going to be a throw into Senegal in the final third. Quicks, right back, don't have one. Who are we on about? Are we on about England here, by the way? Yeah, I agree. I think England don't have a right back at all. I agree. The City of Northville, let's not get carried away. It's going to take a bit more than that to pick Tottenham up from the dirt. Were you not impressed by them towards the end of the season under De Zerbi? I thought they played really well. Yeah, I thought they were much improved under De Zerbi, and obviously you're going to give him a full pre-season. Obviously better players to work with. You would imagine Spurs will aggressively move a lot of players on. Players like maybe Richarlison, Sarr, Bissouma's gone. Archie Gray, Bergval, you know, they'll recoup a lot of money, Spurs. They've spent nearly 200 million on Fernandes and Tonali, but I would imagine they'll recoup most of that through Bergval, Gray, Richarlison. You know, they've certainly got people they can sell. They've got quite a big squad. Dan the Travel Man told you, Tonali, you did, mate. Yeah, you did. I didn't think it'd be both of them, but fair play. Spurs have really gone out and they've surprised me there. I think it'd be a really good window for Spurs. Edge of the box, strike! Good effort, good save from Courtois. Rob, they were still crap. I thought they were really unlucky away at you lads at the Stadium of Light. I thought Spurs were the better team that game. Obviously, it was a big deflection that wins the game for you lads. But we watched Spurs away at Sunderland, and I thought they were brilliant. Or at least they deserved more than they got anyway. Somehow they didn't convince me they'll win the league. No, not win the league. Not win the league, but I don't think it's unreasonable to say Spurs with fewer fitness issues and a good tailwind, I think Spurs could get top 5. And when I say top 5, I mean 5th. Chelsea for me this year. Again, yeah, Chelsea. I think Chelsea will probably be top 5 as well. Again, depends on what they do the rest of the window, but I just feel like people grossly underrate how important it is to have no European football. No European football can be a huge advantage. Obviously, it hits you in the pocket, but it means you've got 38 cup finals. To be fair, had West Ham not gone on a bad call, we'd be saying that transfer could get them past Wrexham, maybe. Well, yeah. I mean, if West Ham hadn't got a bad call, then it'd have been a Man City League title win. And they'd have been a lot less quiet, the Gooners, wouldn't they? Here we go, corner for Senegal, 19 minutes in. Thank you, Sarah. We've only got 19 minutes in, so still early. Terrible corner. Here's Doku on the counter. He's got De Bruyne with him, but I think I know who'll win that race. Here is De Bruyne. Got to find the right pass now. Lovely. And he gives it away. So poor that. Very poor. How's it going, football? Kieran says, personally, I think Xhaka is a better signing than Tonali, but that's just me. I think it's much of a muchness. You'd obviously prefer Tonali over Xhaka. Purely because of the age. But there's probably an argument about who's the better player like right now in this moment. Yeah, I would agree with that. If we're just talking specifically right now, who's better, Tonali or Xhaka? Yeah. Tom, we need to back Iraola. Well, we didn't back Arne Slot. I don't see why we need to back Iraola. As far as I'm concerned, let's hold Iraola to the same standards we held Arne Slot to. Let's let him work with the same squad. And if he doesn't win the league by 46 points, then sack him. Get him gone, as far as I'm concerned. Absolute shower. Belgium, far post, flicked on. And Senegal clear it away, nice and easy. It's been a bit... That's not going to be a free kick, is it, ref? He's given a free kick. He has. Dan says you need to sign players. I know, mate, I know. I was being facetious. Liverpool need to sign 8 or 9 players. And we're desperate to sign 8 or 9 players. And we were desperate to sign 8 or 9 players when we had Arne Slot. So that's why I kind of keep making that joke. Because people come in and go, Arne Slot was the problem. But we need to sign 8 or 9 players. Doesn't quite wash that, does it? You can't really have both. You can't have your cake and eat it with them two things. Guilty Spark, I think Isak will hinder you next season, especially if he starts slow and his head drops. That's a very, very curious shout. Alexander Isak's had a brilliant World Cup. Whenever he's played for Liverpool and been fit, he's been wonderful. He's one of the best centre-forwards in the Premier League over the last 3 or 4 years. I don't think there's any evidence at all to say he'll hinder Liverpool, unless you were a rival fan seeking to create an agenda. Gakpo, is he gone? No, Gakpo's still there. Gakpo's still there. And I think he will be anyway. I don't think Gakpo goes anywhere. I'd rather keep hold of him. Key, my next signing you will see for Spurs will be Krupi. Hey, if you get Krupi and you've got Tonali and Fernandes, yeah, it's a hell of a team you're starting to build there. There's certainly a good shell there. Mr. Al-Shamari, do you rate Rudi Garcia? So-so. So-so. He's still relatively new to the job, isn't he, to be honest? He only took over in January, Rudi Garcia. Still fairly new to the whole Belgium setup. Masterminded the playoff rescue against Ukraine. That's what got Belgium to the World Cup. But yeah, he's not a bad manager. Again, it's another one of them where I would never ever want to see. I don't like seeing managers manage other nations. I think it should be our best against their best, and a Belgian manager should be managing Belgium. A Senegalese manager should be managing Senegal. An English manager should be managing England. That would be my preference, and I think it would make the World Cup and football a whole lot better and more interesting. Rudi Garcia, I mean, he's a Frenchman. He did well at Lille. I thought he was very good at Lille. It's kind of it's where he made his name, I guess. Not so good at Roma and Marseille. The culture. Do you know much about Basumana Toure from Hoffenheim? Do I know much about Basumana Toure from Hoffenheim? Yeah, we've watched a little bit of him. Obviously, he played a fair bit off the bench for Ivory Coast in this tournament. Here's Sadio Mane. Good ball in. Good header. Off the post, and it must be. And it is. It's 1-0. There you go. What a finish. It's an excellent goal. It's Habib Diarra, Sunderland midfielder. Great flick on. Courtois, no chance. And smashes it in. Excellent goal. Lovely, lovely goal, that. Excellent goal. But Belgium asleep. Belgium just asleep at the back. Look at Rudi Garcia saying, calm down, calm down. I don't think you're going to be able to get any more out of this Belgium side. They've looked really flat. And the ball comes in from the right-hand side. Lovely little flick on. Is it Habib Diarra who gets the header? I think it's Sarr, isn't it? Is it Sarr with the flick on initially? And Habib Diarra just drifting in. He's the first to react. Belgium defenders sleeping. No chance. Mekela. And, yeah, Courtois has no chance on that one. It's a tap-in, really. It's a tap-in for him. Right, throw in for Belgium. Great claim, nice and easy. Jamie Vargas says these African teams are scary, so physical and fast. And Rob says, waka waka AA, 30 million down the drain. Diarra scores again. Diarra's a very talented player. Like him. They've been terrible the whole tournament. Belgium really poor. Yeah, they've not been at the best. I think that's fair to say. Certainly not been at the best. Will says, if we lose to Mexico, do you think Tuchel gets sacked? I think Tuchel goes before the end of the tournament. Or rather, at the end of the tournament, whatever happens, mate. He's not going to be England manager after this tournament. He'll walk. Yeah, I agree, Kieran. He'll either walk or it'll be like a mutual termination. He'll go. And it won't matter when England go out. Whether they go out in the semis, the quarters, the next round, it doesn't matter. He will walk or he'll be gone. Eddie Howe for England, says Pete. Eddie Howe might be out of work as well. Does he only stay for you if we win it? No, I think he goes even then. Yeah, I think he goes even then. There you are, guilty spark. Eddie Howe will be next England manager. I'll put money on it. I'd agree. I think he might be the obvious one, the standout choice. Hydration break, first one. Rudi Garcia giving some last-minute instructions before the end of this hydration break. Chris says, Brazil, Norway, what do you think? Brazil. I think Brazil would just about beat him. Just about. City of Northville, England will struggle to keep up with the speed of Mexico. They play football like El Luchadors in the WWF. And Rob says, we won the AFCON and now we're going to win the World Cup. Sunderland are back, baby. Habib Diarra, doing the bits. Doing bits. Finners Matty, I think England might be better against Mexico because Mexico will go for it and won't play a low block. Yeah, I mean, do you know what? The thing is, you've got to say, Mexico, I don't think, will play a low block against England. I don't necessarily think they'll go for it at all costs, but I think they'll have enough of a go against England that it'll unsettle them in the first half, similar to how it did with Congo today. They were all over the place first half, England. All over the place. Vasco Aguirre, what's that? Vasco Aguirre sets up chaotic systems. It'll be fine margins. And Hamish says, Vasco Aguirre, Javier Aguirre. So it's Vasco Aguirre's nickname. Hamish says, Spurs getting the pants pulled down this window. No chance. That's what you mean getting the pants pulled down. Do you not think those are two very, very good signings for pretty much what the market value is? I don't know how anyone could argue otherwise. Honestly, I don't understand how anyone could make the case that Tonali is not worth exactly what he is. 100 million for Tonali is too much in my opinion. But if you were Newcastle, how much would you demand for him? He is absolutely worth 100 million. Of course he is. If Rice 2 years ago was 100 million, Caicedo 2 years ago was 110, Enzo Fernandez was 110. You know, you've got Elliot Anderson going for 116 now, it's hard to argue. It's really, really hard to argue that Tonali isn't worth 100. When you point to all those other deals, it's really hard to argue that he's not 100 million worth of player. Ben, we need to sell Curtis Jones for 75. I honestly, mate, I think if we had Curtis Jones on a longer contract, we might be able to get 50 or 60 for him. But the fact that he's only got a year left on his deal and actively wants to leave, we're never getting anywhere close to that. You might be looking at 35, maybe 40. But Inter don't want to pay that, so he'll stay. We'll lose Curtis Jones on a free. Yeah, we'll lose Curtis Jones on a free. Matty says, things with England under Tuchel, we don't settle into the game and pass the ball around. We always attacking straight. Not saying I want the passing like we had with Southgate. We need to settle a little bit more into the game. That's true. I mean, I think when you've got Rice and you've got Elliot Anderson in there, they're not necessarily too... They're not midfielders that are going to dictate the game in the way that, let's say, a Vitinha would. Or when you look at other midfields that we've been up against, I think today the big issue for England wasn't necessarily the midfield. It was the wings. We were all over the place. Rashford was terrible. Madueke was awful. So many issues with England today, especially in that first half. All over the place. Long ball forward from Gay, straight out for a goal kick. Pete, keep the manager away from the players during that so-called hydration break or advert. Why? Do you see it as cheating? Do you think it's cheating? If there is any sort of dalliance from the manager. I don't think so. I'm fine with it. That's fine. Pep for anyone but Spain would feel like cheating. That boy Johnny, that Portugal system is a mess. I quite like it. So for the throw in here. Could we see Pep at England? We possibly could. Yeah, we could. I doubt it. I think he'd probably take a bit of time out now, but yeah, I mean he's up for a managerial job. He has mentioned the England job in the past, hasn't he? Keys, Bazoum, Arnautovic, good. Just saw Newcastle are close to signing him. He's a talented player. Whether or not he ends up, I mean, he's not a wonderful like. He's not going to score loads. He's not going to score absolutely loads. But he's quick. He'll create plenty of chances. He's probably not an upgrade on Gordon. But reminds me a little bit of a left-sided Yankuba Minter. Obviously, he's ex-Newcastle as well, wasn't he? Luke Watt says Pep to take England to the promised land. City of Northville, I always wondered why managers can't have a headset with earpieces for players to hear from him throughout the whole match. Why shouldn't managers be able to manage all game? Bit like in the NFL. Yeah. Bill Arnold, how have you got the World Cup? Trump dropped it off, mate. He dropped it off. He popped round and he said, Key, do us a favour. Look after this for me. I said, no worries, Donald. It's yours. I'll sort it. Good run down the right-hand side. Brilliant run from Senegal. Into Mane. Mane back out to Illiman and Die. Switched over to Jacobs. Don't shoot. Don't shoot. Keeps hold of it. That's better. Belgium will win, says Rotimoyo Rogers. Good to see you. Thank you for the comment. Rasta says Pep to Arsenal after his sabbatical. Jesus Christ, no chance. He'll want to go to a big club. Chelsea have signed Marco Palestra from Atalanta for 43 million. Decent deal. Again, not the experience that I think they probably want. But apparently Malo Gusto, he wants 75 million from Manchester City for Malo Gusto. It's a lot. Watch England rock up with Graham Potter at the Euros. Yes, ZQXV, how's it going? Johnny says 75 for Gusto. Yeah, it's exactly that. It is. Well, allegedly, that's what they're asking for. Whether or not they get it is another question, but that is exactly what they're going for. I still don't understand how the FA never appointed Harry Redknapp in his pomp. I think that was purely because of the allegations and stuff. Yeah. The allegations always kept Harry Redknapp away from that top job. Brendan says that De Bruyne is no good. All hype. Wait till Friday night to see a real Prem legend. And Pete says it's like when the keeper goes down faking injury and the players go for instructions. Joseph, hi Keelad, what do you think of our signing? Terrible, waste of money, huge waste of money. City of Northville, I don't know if Arsenal are ready for the exciting play of Southgate. That's a big ramp up from Arteta. Bayern have signed Ismail Saibari. What do we make of that one? Cheers, Anfield Vortex. Kieran says, how much would Torres cost in this market, Key, in his prime? Do you know what? I actually think isn't Torres in the last... I think it's since 2000 and... It might be since the year 2000. Torres is up there with I think he's the most expensive Premier League transfer, isn't he? I'm sure he is. They did the numbers by inflation, and Torres for 50 million. In terms of inflation, he's like... I think he's the most expensive transfer since the millennium. Reece says, England, like this Belgium side, look enthusiastic, structured and fluid. This really is the end of their cycle. Yeah, I was going to say guilty spark. I agree. He's been a really, really good player at the World Cup, Saibari, hasn't he? Scored in all 3 games for Morocco. Timbo, Shearer for inflation, surely. Not since 2000, mate. Shearer only went in 95, 96, wasn't he? Just seeing England romped to a 2-1 victory. Missed it, but good to see. Good to see you, pig horse. Super Venky, do you think Spurs overpaid for Tonali? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. How long till everyone's asking for Lampard to be the next England manager? I actually think he would be the one that England would go to if it ended up being... Let's say he does leave, and I think he will. I think Tuchel will go after this World Cup, come what may. It'll probably be Lampard, not Eddie Howe, isn't it? Lampard's the one that they'll jump to. Where are Spurs getting all this money from? Do you know what? I think Spurs, if you look, they've spent quite a bit over the last 7-8 years, but they've also had the revenues kicking in now from the stadium. You know, they've got sponsorship deals now coming in that's a lot more inflated, and they've not... You know, the loss of the Champions League revenue will only hit them in another sort of 18 months' time, won't it? They did well. They got to the knockout stages last year, and they finished in the top... Didn't they finish in the top 6? Am I right in saying that? Was it Spurs? Spurs didn't... It was Newcastle who played the knockout game, wasn't it? Pigor says, Fernandes for 85 million, Tonali for 100 million's mad. I honestly, I think that's fair. I genuinely do think that's fair value. I can't really argue that they're not fair value. Whenever you look at the other signings that has been made, it's hard to make the case that Spurs have overpaid. Yeah, Spurs could be way over PSR and we won't know till 2029. It's the delay in the finances. This is what you pay very good accountants and financial consultants for. You pay them so that they can move things around and delay and delay and delay. Same as lawyers, really. That's what City's lawyers have been very good at. Delay, 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 delay. That's all lawyers do. File a motion, continuation, all that stuff. Slow things down. Buy us time. Timbo, Harry Kane is obviously the best England player of our lifetime. But who's second best? Beckham, maybe. Behave yourself. Go on, we'll ask that question to the chat. Let's put that question to the chat. Timbo's just asked it. Go on, we'll throw it up. You answer. Ivan Cisneros, good to see you. England going to need oxygen tanks in the Azteca. 7,500 feet above sea level. Kieran says Rooney's better than Kane. I think Gerrard's better than the pair of him, if I'm honest with you. Yeah, Anfield Vortex, Gerrard. Honestly, I think Gerrard's better than the pair of him. I really do. I would say Gerrard and then Rooney. If we're talking two players to make a difference, Gerrard and Rooney are the best two, comfortably for me. And Kane is probably not far behind after that. John Terry, maybe not a million miles behind those. If we're doing the top 5 England players I have seen in my lifetime, it would be Gerrard top, it would be Rooney second, it would be Kane third, probably Terry fourth. Ooh. Maybe Ashley Cole. Maybe Ashley Cole fifth. Yeah, could be Ashley Cole fifth. No, Lampard. It's Lampard. Or Shearer. Lampard or Shearer. Could be Shearer. Sean Wright Phillips must play tennis. Kieran Scholes has got to be mentioned, surely. No, mate. Lampard's better than Scholes, and I think Ashley Cole. And you know, if I was doing, let's say, a top 20 England players of my lifetime, Scholes probably features in that, but he doesn't feature in the top 10. Yeah, no, I wouldn't put him in the top 10. Rooney, Beckham, Gerrard, Kane and Terry, no particular order. Rio should get a shout, even if he's a jackass. Yeah, I mean, Rio was very good. He was very good. But was he better than someone like Adams, for example? No, I don't think he was. I'd have Terry and Adams before I had Rio. Good header from Belgium, straight out for a goal kick. Bit before my time, but what about players like Gaza, Lineker, Shearer? Gaza, I think, is one of the most overrated players in English football history. I genuinely do. He had a wonderful World Cup. Scored a couple of goals in big moments, but no, he gets a lot of sympathy, obviously, because of the stuff in his personal life, and he's a very likeable character that kind of embodied England at that time. He was the wide boy that kind of, bit cheeky, bit of a cheeky chappy. For me, he was everything that was bad about that England side in many ways. He wasn't the genius that people made him out to be. At least not on the football pitch. I think he was a very good player, but very overrated, I would say. Very, very overrated. That's why he ended up playing for Rangers and fucking didn't do out when he came back to the Prem. He'd already wasted all his best years. Lineker was very good. Shearer was amazing. But, yeah, no, Gaza doesn't make the top 20 for me. Guilty Spark says, Gaza was shocking for my team, never rated him. Who was your team? I forgot. Is it Everton or Borough? Or Burnley? Or is it Gansu Tiama? That was his other team, wasn't it, in China? Rob says you missed the guy's point key. He meant for England only. Oh, well, if we're only talking for England only, Darius Vassell is probably one of the best centre-forwards ever to play for England. He scored every time. And Crouch. We all know it's Heskey, number one. Heskey was a very good England player as well. So is Grealish the modern-day Gascoigne? He is a little bit, yeah. He is. That is very, very much. There is shades. Jack Grealish and Paul Gascoigne, yeah. Merson was the same. Honestly, I'd say Merson was in the same bracket as Gaza. Merson was in the same bracket. He was a wonderful player, Paul Merson. Ray Parlour was a cracking player. Ray Parlour never got a kick for England. Ray Parlour was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Watch Ray Parlour's goal in the FA Cup final against Chelsea. I mean, he scored 2, didn't he, in that game? Unbelievable player. Again, another pisshead. another pisshead. It was just that time, wasn't it? You know, Tony Adams had issues. Merson, Gaza, Parlour, Kenny Sansom. The Liverpool Spice Boys, you know, Fowler was a bad egg for that side of things. Allegedly. Liked a bevy. Maybe not a bad egg, but liked a bevy. Here's Doku. Senegal clear it away. Is it going to be a free kick? Yeah, free kick edge of the box for Belgium. Joel says, Key, can I get a serious opinion on our latest signing, please? Yeah, mate, just search back in the chat. I've talked about it 3 times. So yeah, I wasn't being a funny arse. I just can't be arsed saying it again. We did a full bit on Bazumana Toure just before you came in. He's all right. He's okay. I don't think he's an upgrade on Gordon. I'll say that. Timbo says Gerrard and Rooney are nowhere near Kane for England. No, Gerrard's not. If we're just talking for England, then no, Gerrard's certainly not. Take Gerrard out. Take Lampard out. Take Scholes out. It'd probably be Terry. Terry was amazing for England. Brendan says, my football memory goes back to the early noughties. If taking overall players, not just for England, it's Rooney, Gerrard, Kane, miles over everyone else. Agreed. Yeah. Kieran, I don't get how Matt Le Tissier didn't get more England caps. He didn't get a single England cap, I don't think. Matt Le Tissier only ever played for England B side. I'm sure he did. He got a hat-trick for the England B team at Loftus Road, I'm sure he did. But I don't think he ever actually played for England, Matt Le Tissier. If he did, it might have only been once. But the thing is, when you say you can't understand why he didn't get a kick, have a look at the centre forwards that there was around at that time. Like, he was a good player, Le Tissier, but he wasn't better than Andy Cole. He wasn't better than Shearer. He definitely weren't better than Fowler. He wasn't better than Les Ferdinand. He weren't better than Teddy Sheringham. You know, there's loads of great England centre forwards around that time. Joel says his goal output doesn't look the best, but his assist record was impressive last season. For Hoffenheim, and again, Hoffenheim, if you have a look at Christian Ilzer, the Austrian manager who manages Hoffenheim, very good manager, he plays a system that is in no way similar to how Newcastle play. I think he gets the best out of his wide players. So it'll be interesting to see how Bazumana Toure adapts. 1, to the Premier League and the physicality of it. You know, he's still only a young player. That might take some time. 2, how will he adapt to a different change of system that might not afford him so much of the ball so early? He got 8 caps, apparently. 8 caps. Kieran says, swear he had less than 10. I was going to say, I don't think he had that many. Michael Owen is massively underrated, was a beast for England. For England, he was, but I think Michael Owen, again, and I'm saying this as a Liverpool fan, I think Michael Owen was quite comfortably one of the most overrated players in Premier League history as well. One of the worst Ballon d'Or winners, I think, ever. Certainly in my lifetime. I think if we're ranking Ballon d'Or winners in my lifetime, Michael Owen's rock bottom. But he played very well for England. I'd agree with that. Will says, on a more sombre note, have Brest appointed a new manager yet after the tragic events of a few weeks back? I don't believe so, no. I think they've been waiting for... it was literally only the last couple of weeks, wasn't it? I'm sure it was the last couple of weeks. Very sad, though. Right, we have got a half-time quiz. Sorry, half-time quiz. I've just realised it's half-time. Let's do the usual half-time quiz. If you're new around here, we do a half-time quiz every single game. And, you know, if that's your thing, then make sure you click up here, give us a follow, give us a like. Make sure you sub if you're on this place right here. But let's do the half-time quiz. There have been 21 Belgians who have made over 100 Premier League appearances. Name them. Only 21 Belgians have made over 100 Premier League appearances. Can you name those Belgians? De Bruyne is correct, Will. LRD Jameson says Hazard. Yeah, both of those right. De Bruyne is number 1. Hazard is number 7. Lukaku, Lukaku is 3rd. Good shout. Vincent Kompany is 4th. Tielemans is 8th. Good shout, Timbo. Trossard and Dembele. Dembele is 9th. Trossard is 10th. Doku, no, not Doku. Doku doesn't make the top 21. He hasn't got 100 Premier League appearances. Does Axel Witsel sneak in there? No, he has precisely 0 Premier League appearances. Vertonghen is right, though. Good shout. Vertonghen makes it in. He's 11th. Jan Vertonghen. Divock Origi says Shahid. Yep. Divock Origi is 16th. Castagna says Dogs of Shaw. Love that. Timothy Castagna is there. Fulham defender. He's 15th. Christian Benteke, says Kevin. Yes, Christian Benteke is 2nd. Brendan, what's the question? Oh, I've just realised it's not on the screen. Sorry, that's my fault. There you go. Question is there. Now you can see it. Fellaini, yes. Marouane Fellaini is there. Courtois and Vermaelen. Yep, Vermaelen is 20th. Only just sneaks in, as is Courtois 17th. Dries Mertens never played in the Prem. Mignolet is correct. Mignolet is 6th. Simon Mignolet. Alderweireld Timbo is correct. He's 12th. Not Batshuayi. No, not Delat. So far you've got Vermaelen, Courtois, Origi, Castagna, Alderweireld, Vertonghen, Trossard, Dembele, Tielemans, Hazard, Mignolet, Fellaini, Kompany, Lukaku, Benteke, Kevin De Bruyne. We're talking the top... Well, not the top. We're talking 21 Belgians. There's only 21 Belgian players who have made over 100 Premier League appearances. 21. So far, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... You've got 16. You've got 16. There's another 5 to get. Not Dennis Pratt. Not Dennis Pratt and not Batshuayi. Come on, don't be sneaking, don't be cheating. Kevin Morales, guilty spark. Well done. Kevin Morales is 15th. Are we counting Malbranc as Belgian or French? We're counting him as French. Didn't he play for France? I'm sure Stede Malbranc played for France, didn't he? Did he not? I'm sure he did. Stede Malbranc. Oh, he played for France under 21s, but he was born in Belgium. Okay, fair enough. But no, he's French, according to... He's not in this list. Onana, yeah, Onana is 19th. Good shout. Not Januzaj. Adnan Januzaj is not there. Me and Timbo said Morales ages ago. Yeah, well, I didn't take your answer. I took someone else's. Because you got the Timbo penalty. Because Timbo repeated it. I'm only messing. I didn't see it. I'm sorry. Dendoncker. Yeah, Dendonker's correct. He's in there. You've got 2 left to get. 2 left to get. And I'll give you a clue. One of them's a defender. One of them's a winger. Neither are still playing. I don't believe. Let me check that. Let me verify that quickly. I think they've both subsequently retired. Yeah, he has. Let me check this one. Oh, no. Hey, one of them is still playing at the ripe old age of 35. But he spent the best part of 7 or 8 years in the Premier League. He's a defender. Not Castagna. We've already got him. We've already got Courtois. Not Wout Faes. Can't think of anyone anymore. Mine's gone blank. So you've got a defender who played in the Premier League for 7 years. He's still currently playing in his mid-30s in Serie A. Played for a low-level Premier League side as well that kind of bounced in and out of the Premier League. So he probably spent, even though he spent 7 years in the Prem, he probably actually only spent, because he spent 7 years in England, he probably only spent about 3 or 4 of those in the Prem. I would say 4 of them were in the Championship. Chadley is correct, though. Nasser Chadley, former Spurs and West Brom winger. Nasser Chadley goes in. And the last one that you're missing is Cabaselli. Well googled, Anfield Vortex. Good lad. Cabaselli is 21st. So there you go. That's your halftime quiz. 21 Belgians who have made over 100 Premier League appearances. Number 21, Christian Cabaselli. Number 20 was Thomas Vermaelen, who played for Barcelona. It's mad to think Thomas Vermaelen barely scraped 100 Prem appearances. He was injured a lot, wasn't he? But it felt like Vermaelen was there a really long time. Onana is 19th. Amadou Onana. He's not quite justified that £50 million fee from Everton to Villa yet, has he? It still feels like Villa a little bit uncertain to play him. Obviously, he's still not starting for this Belgium side, and I think he should be doing better there. 18, Nasser Chadley. Always rated him very highly. Number 17, Courtois. Again, fading powers a little bit, Courtois. 16, Divock Origi. The Everton botherer. The greatest sub in Premier League history. Divock Origi. Number 15, Kevin Morales. Everton fans fondly remember. Number 14, former Wolves and Villa midfielder Leander Dendoncker. 13 is Timothy Castagna, who plays for Fulham and is on the pitch right now. Alderweireld and Vertonghen, the 2 Spurs centre-backs at 12 and 11. Number 10 is Leandro Trossard, who just always seems to pop up with a goal off his arse. Number 9 was Dembele, Moussa Dembele, who many seem to label as one of the best all-time Premier League midfielders. He was very good. I'd say a little bit overrated if we're talking about that. Tielemans was 8th. Number 7 is Eden Hazard, another one I would put in the category of overrated a little bit. Number 6, Simon Mignolet. Still can't believe he didn't save that Demba Ba goal. Number 5, Marouane Fellaini. Number 4, Vincent Kompany. Broke my heart against Leicester City. Number 3, Romelu Lukaku. Number 2, Christian Benteke. And number 1 is the guy who's on the pitch right now, the one who maybe is carrying Belgium's hopes of turning this around, Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne. Surprised Faes never made it. Dr. Faken says if Senegal can return to their top gear, it's over. Their best form is a lot better than Belgium's best form. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I would agree with that. I think that's fair. Right, let me change the old headline. No Moussa Dembele. I did say Moussa Dembele, didn't I? Number 9. Dr. Fakin says Africa's top 2 squad versus maybe the 6th or 7th best in Europe. Give me Senegal all day in this one, I'd agree. And Brendan says, who's rating Moussa Dembele as one of the best ever Premier League midfielders? Moussa Dembele's mother. No, there's loads. Honestly, the amount of podcasts I've seen with like ex-Premier League players where they've gone on and said like, who's the best player you've played with or who's the best player you've played against? And they've all said like variations of Moussa Dembele. Like they've either mentioned him or said actually him. Because he was so good. He was always like, he'd just glide about the pitch, never get him off the ball and all that. There's loads have said Moussa Dembele was one of the best. What was the goal like, says Pepe? It was a ball whipped in from the left-hand side, flicked on by Ismail Assar, little header. Courtois, full stretch, dove to his left, hit the post, bounced back out. Habib Diarra, the Sunderland midfielder, reacted quickest, smashed it into an empty net. Bit random, but Milan Baros was so underrated. What a guy. Oh, I hated him. As a Liverpool fan, mate, I hated him. Hated him. He was so bad. And do you know what it was? You know what it was with Milan Baros? When he first came, he was incredible. And he was one of them players who you always like, oh, do you know, if he takes the next step up, he'll be brilliant. But he just never took the next step up. So what happened was, he joined Liverpool like as like backup to Michael Owen just before Owen left. And he was incredible. Like really talented young player that we signed from Baník Ostrava in the Czech Republic. He came in, scored a load of really good goals, proved to be a really good finisher, went off to the Euros, Euro 2004, Czech Republic did amazingly well, he did amazingly well, I think he might have even got Golden Boot in that tournament, Milan Baros, or he was one of the competitors for it, he was right up at the top if I remember, 22 years ago now, so I'm scratching my head, but he was brilliant at Euro 2004, and immediately, there was links to Barcelona, links to this. It was all that, right? And as soon as that happened, he was flirting in the papers every other week, saying, "Yeah, I want to go. You know, I think I'm ready for the next step up. I think I'm ready to go to Barcelona and all this." And everyone was just like, "Ugh." Every Liverpool fan at the time was like, "Mate, you're really not that guy. You are not that good. I promise you. You've had a good tournament. This is where you settle in and work hard." And he came back to Liverpool, tail between his legs, because Barcelona offered us some, like, 6 million quid or something like that. It was a terrible fee. He was never going to take it after a big tournament. And he stayed, and he was garbage the year we won the Champions League. He was awful. He was absolutely awful the year we won the Champions League. Bit of a liability, to be honest. But he was our only fit striker because Cisse broke his leg. So he played a big part in that season, but was never particularly reliable, and we sold him to Aston Villa the year after for 6 million quid. And Villa fucked him off as well. Villa weren't happy with him. He's a problem, Milan Baros. He's a bit of a wanker, to be honest. Dr. Fakin says Congo might be better than Ivory Coast. That's a really close call. Oh, I wouldn't say that. Ivory Coast better than Congo for me. Morientes was the disappointing one for me. I loved Morientes. I thought he was really good. He was just old. I've called Milan Baros lots of things, but underrated is not one of them. And Luke says, I've heard Tottenham players say he's the best player they played with. That's what I mean, yeah. He was amongst the best. Lukaku's about to come on here. Lukaku coming on for De Ketelaere, who's done precisely jack shit. Big moment for Big Rom. Rudi Garcia playing his first ace. Rolling the dice. Back in a sec. One sec. Okay, back. Mark says, Key, did you like Patrick Berger? What did you think of him? Love Patrick Berger. Not only was he a wonderful player, he was a really, really nice guy as well. Really lovely fella, Patrick Berger. And Vladimir Smisa. They were the two Czech players who completely shamed Milan Baros because they were the hardest working players. They were great technically. They were very humble. And they worked the socks off. They were brilliant. Absolutely brilliant for us. Senegal, far post, Illiman and die! Terrible strike. 46 minutes. And Senegal start the second half very well. It was Sadio Mane with the ball in. Flicked on by Brandon Mekele. Comes back to Illiman and die. And he kind of scuffs it, to be honest. That's the sort of thing I'm talking about with Illiman and die. I like him. I really, really like Illiman and die. But I just feel like every time he gets a chance in the final third, he's not clinical enough. Everton fans have whinged about this as well. After the AFCON, he's been so poor. So poor. Kieran says, Key, who's a player that isn't disliked enough? Yossi Benayoun is one of the biggest snakes for me. Why? What's up with Yossi? I liked Yossi. I quite liked Yossi. What was up with Yossi? He was a good player, him. Yossi was like the original, kind of like a Maxi Rodriguez, I guess. Floated in between the lines. He was a good player. Remember him scoring a hat-trick against Besiktas. Rob says, so you never had a Barros shirt then? I never ever had a name on the back of a Liverpool shirt. There was very few that I did. And it was like Fowler when I was a kid and stuff. I never ever got, as a general rule, like I never got Gerrard, I never got Owen. I never put, I feel like I was bruised after Fowler left, so I just never ever got a player's name on the back of a shirt. Kieran says, playing for 3 out of 4 biggest teams in England, no loyalty at all. Do you know what? I think that's harsh, because the thing is, he went to Chelsea when Liverpool were on the decline. He'd gone to Chelsea, and also, we weren't really playing him. It was one of them. It was like, it was a good fit at the time for him to go to Chelsea. I had no issue with him going Chelsea. And then, at Chelsea, didn't he go on loan from Chelsea to Arsenal? I don't think he never moved to Arsenal, did he? It was a loan, I'm sure. Yeah, I have no issue with that. Andy says, I loved Yossi. Brendan says, Liverpool's forward line in 04-05 is one of the worst collections of strikers ever assembled if you take into account the expectation around them and the relative success of the team. Yeah. Neil Mellor scored bagfuls in the academy. Didn't really work out. Cinema Pongol, touted as this like next big thing from France. Same with the Talek. Neither of them really worked out. Djibril Cissé was meant to be the next Thierry Henry. Broke his leg twice. Did well, but you know, was more worried about what colour his hair was than actually putting the hard yards in. Very unlucky, but I liked him. I don't mind Jib, but he wasn't a great player, to be honest, after the injuries. And yeah, Milan Baros was just a fucking head fuck. And Morientes was brilliant. I like Morientes. He's just too slow for the Premier League. It was like when Raul went to Schalke. When Raul went to Schalke, he was so good. Unbelievable player, Raul. Some of the finishes. If you have a look at Raul, if you ever go on YouTube, search for Raul goals at Schalke. He was basically finished as a player. Fuck, what a player he was. So good. Luis Garcia was a baller. And Anfield Vortex on my new LFC shirt this season, I've got Diogo 20 on the back. That's nice. Luke, I remember that nasty leg break poking out of his sock. Do you remember the Blackburn player who did it to him? Well, I say did it to him. Bit harsh saying he did it to him. He just kind of was running alongside him and he shoved him. He landed awkwardly. Rob says Cissé did a good job for us in 08-09 for Sunderland. Yeah, he was alright, wasn't he? He's, again, a likeable player, but he was never the same player after he broke his leg twice, and I think that's a reasonable. I don't think any player ever would be, would they? He was just really unlucky. You can't really control these things, but Can't deny he was mega passionate. He always wanted to help whatever club he was at. I don't think he was never taking the piss. Oh, terrible. Huge chance for Habib Diarra to make it 2-0. He's got to get that on target. This is what I'm talking about with Senegal not taking the chances. They're not clinical in the final third. This is what will cost Senegal ultimately. They are in the game. They'll stay in the game. They'll keep working hard and they'll keep getting chances. But if they are not careful, Belgium will take one eventually and it'll equalise it up. I'm telling you. I'm thinking what I said 1-1. I'm sticking with 1-1. They're in. Must take it. There you go. It's 2. It's 2. Is it Ismaila Sarr? Yeah, it's 2. 50 minutes on the clock. They finally take one. Lovely little ball over the top. No chance at all. Sarr runs onto it. And it's the easiest finish you're ever likely to see because he's just going to smash it on target. Courtois, no chance. And that honestly, that might be game done now. Belgium, they've been garbage, haven't they? This has been amongst the worst Belgian displays of the tournament. And it's come in the game they really needed to step up in. Is he onside? That's the question. Oh, he's miles on. Miles onside. Lovely ball over the top. Is it Ishmael Jacobs again? Ishmael Jacobs, I think it might be. He's played a part now in both goals. If it is Jacobs, anyway. A lovely long pass over the top. A lovely ball, that. Wonderful pass. Oh, it wasn't actually. It was Niakate. It was former Forest defender Niakate who played the ball over the top. Really flat as well, wasn't it? Lovely little pass, that. Oh, it's a great goal. Pape Thiaw celebrates. He loves it. He's still in the middle of a FIFA ban, by the way, Pape Thiaw. He got a 5-game ban for the way that he conducted himself in the AFCON final against Morocco. But that 5-game ban doesn't apply at FIFA tournaments. It only applies in AFCON qualifying and World Cup qualifying. But he'll serve that ban after the tournament. But there you go. 4 goals in 4 appearances for Ismaila Sarr at this World Cup. We're speaking about how prolific Haaland and Mbappe and Messi have been and Kane, quite rightly. But Ismaila Sarr, he's really putting the numbers in. You'd be hard pushed to find a better centre-forward or attacker in the Premier League than Ismaila Sarr. How much would he cost to get out of Crystal Palace now? Crystal Palace are desperate for a bit of money, but I don't know, I think you'd be struggling to find a number that Parish would like. I don't think you'd find a number that Parish would like enough to sell Ismaila Sarr. He's 28. He's only just turned 28, but he is 28. He got 9 goals last season for Palace in 28 games from wide as well. 8 goals the season before. I think he'd be good for 10 to 15 at a club where there's maybe more chances. And he can finish. Look at that. He got the assist basically for the first goal and he's just smashed it in for the second. Excellent finish. Brendan says, was it Ryan Nelson that broke Cissé's leg? No, it was Jay McEverly. Yeah, Jay McEverly. How's it going, Chimey? Philip says, who's your favourite all-time player, Liverpool player of all time? Robbie Fowler, mate, is mine. That's my hero growing up. That's who when I first started watching football, Robbie Fowler was my hero. Harry says, thoughts on Glasner to Forest? Must be a few quid involved for him to go under Marinakis. I mean, I actually think he's maybe got a point to prove against Palace. Maybe that's why he's taken that job. Because everyone I've spoke to today about that has said, I really thought Glasner would go to an AC Milan or a Man United or a Chelsea or, somewhere where there is either European football already or a massive ambition to go and, challenge for top honours. I thought Glasner was primed for one of them clubs, and I don't mean that in any disrespectful way to Forest. I just think they've done really well to secure him. So it is a big compliment in that sense, but I just wonder whether there's been bad blood between him and Parish and how they've left. And maybe he was desperate for a Premier League job. Maybe he wants the opportunity to kind of prove Palace wrong almost. That you should have given me the money. You should have invested in me and let me build a team instead of selling all my best players under my feet. Doku out for a throw-in on the far side to Belgium. They've got an uphill task now. 35 minutes left. 2-0 down to Senegal. Belgium have got it all to do. Is there a way Belgium get back into this? Guilty Spark. How would you rate Robbie Keane's spell at Liverpool? Not very good. In fairness, I like Robbie Keane as a player. I thought he was a really tidy... What is Kevin De Bruyne? Oh my God. Why has he took De Bruyne and Doku off? He's took De Bruyne and Doku off for Nico Raskin of Rangers and Dodi Lukebakio. What is he doing? Oh, Rudi Garcia is begging for the sack here. He is begging for the sack. What is going on? Why would he have done that? What's he done? Manager should be sacked right now, says Dr. Faking. Honestly, I have absolutely no idea. That's proper blown my mind. That has pecked my head. How on earth has the manager decided in this position, 57 minutes, you're 2-0 down, you're chasing the game, and you take off your two most dangerous attackers? What are you saving them for? It's Kevin De Bruyne's last World Cup. That's mad. That's mad. Nico Raskin isn't going to change the game for you in the nicest possible way. Nico Raskin is not going to change the game. And neither is Lukebakio. Not more so than Doku and De Bruyne. Honestly, that has baffled me. That has absolutely baffled me. That would have been like Jurgen Klopp when Liverpool were 2 goals down, taking off prime... Oh, well, yeah, taking off prime Salah and Mane. That would have been like in the Champions League final against AC Milan when we were 3-0 down. Just take off Gerrard, take off Luis Garcia. Take off our best 2 attackers. You'd have been like, what? What are you doing? Not uncommon for Rudi Garcia, to be fair. It's just an absolute head fuck, that. Smeetzer, yeah. Graham says, sack him in the hydration break. I don't think he'll last that long. The Belgian FA's got to be preparing the sacking statement right now. Oh, I'm baffled. Legit, that decision makes no sense at all, says Dr. Faken. There is no logic behind it that bears anything resembling sense. And 3-star says, certainly surprised me, that one today. Don't think Vitor should have been sacked like that. But as a replacement, I'm pleased. I think that's fair, yeah. Can't really argue with that. I think it is the right... You know, once he's gone, once that decision has been made, you can't really argue. Glasner's a wonderful appointment for Forest. It's a fabulous appointment. But it's so sad to see that's the way that he's gone about it. And yeah, if you was Vitor Pereira, you'd feel a bit let down by... Rob says KDB 71% passing. He's been rubbish. Key, I'm sorry. Nobody's arguing that he's had a great game, mate. I don't think any Belgian player has. I think it'd be hard pushed to argue that any Belgian player has. But do you really think that Belgium have got a better chance of getting back in this game with no De Bruyne and no Doku on the pitch? Really? I don't know. There's a manager in world football that makes that change, apart from Rudi Garcia, evidently. I don't think there's anyone in that stadium would make that change. Here's Lukebakio. Tell you what, that could have rammed it down my throat, couldn't it? If he scored, I'd have been like... honestly, Callum, guilty spark. I appreciate it, lads. I promise you, the smartest thing you can do is just ignore him. I promise you. The smartest thing you can do is don't even give them any oxygen, because they're very sad, they're very lonely, and they just come in because they want someone to acknowledge them. They're desperate for someone to please acknowledge them in life. So yeah, you don't need to. Don't take Don't take the bait. That's what they're after. J-Star Trading, if he was annoyed by the owners at Palace, wait till he gets to Forest. Yeah. Well, here's the question then. How likely is it that Glasner sees out the season at Forest? Do we think Glasner is Forest manager come the end of the season? I doubt it somehow. CGLFC, I'm back. Was downtown with my daughter for Canada Day festivities, but it's about 44 degrees here with humidity. I hope you had a lovely day, mate. You and your little girl. I hope you had a lovely day and enjoyed whatever Canada Day festivities bring. I'm not sure. What do you do on Canada Day? Do you have poutine? Is that your thing on Canada Day? Is that what you do? England got incredibly lucky. Can't really argue with that. Cheers, Anfield Vortex. What a guy. Really appreciate it, man. Thank you for the follow. What was the name? Cusini. Thank you for the follow, mate. KDB's had a shocker, but still a strange decision considering what he is capable of. Taking Doku off his mental. It looks, on the face of it, it looks to be an act of active sabotage. If I'm a Belgian fan, I am raging. I am absolutely raging. Adam says, who will swoop in for Tonali in the last minute? My guess is Arteta. Fucking hell. Okay, it's another change for Belgium. They've already brought on Luca Bacchio for Doku, Raskin for De Bruyne and Lukaku for De Ketelaere. They are now about to introduce Moriera, the Chelsea winger, or the ex-Chelsea winger. He signed for Chelsea from Benfica. He's been out on loan at Strasbourg, been out on loan at Lyon. And, yeah, he's a very talented player, Diego Moriera. He's had a good season at Strasbourg. 11 goals and assists in 27 games for them. Still only 21. Axel says if England play the way they played today against Mexico, they're in trouble. Can't argue with that. Axel says, oh, cheers for the follow, Axel. Thanks very much for that, man. Leon says Tonali has gone to Tottenham. Deal done, 100 million. I think it's a smart move. Very smart move. Rowoto Mayo Rogers. I don't know what is wrong with Belgium. I don't know what's happening with Belgium. They're just old, mate. They're just very old, and the manager is making some bizarre decisions. Thanks for the heart. Cheers for that, Anfield Vortex. Dr. Faken, Belgian fans need to throw him in the nearest body of water. I wouldn't advocate for that. I'll take that back. CG says, I rewound the England game to start of the second half when we got back. Second half was better for England. It's going to be a yellow card for Mekele. He's not happy. He's not happy. Callum, are you doing the 1 a.m. game? Yes, I am, yeah. Adam, not smart move for Tonali. Why? What makes you say that? I think it will. I think Spurs will be back in Europe next season. What I think? Spurs by the end of next season, or by the end of this coming season, they'll have qualified for Europe in some way, shape or form, and I'm not entirely sure that Newcastle will be. Guilty spot. What microphone is that, Key? The red one. It is the... HyperX Quadcast. HyperX Quadcast, it's called. You can get it on Amazon. It's nice. It's all, well, it works. It works. It's easy enough. If you're a divvy like me, it's dead easy. Consecutive 17th place finishes. That's why. I know, but I don't think anyone would argue that they'll finish there again. I think Spurs are in a much, much better position now than they were in either of those seasons. And I think the ownership have made silly, silly decisions along the way that I don't think they've made this time. I think going and signing Tonali and Mateus Fernandes irrefutably is a very, very good decision. You know, it might prove to be that the price, people have questions about the price, but I don't think anyone is arguing that Tonali and Mateus Fernandes are Champions League level players. As soon as West Ham announced that they were kind of open to offers for Fernandes, look at the teams who were at the table. Real Madrid were interested. Mourinho wanted him. Man United wanted him. Manchester City were linked with him. Liverpool were linked with him. Spurs were willing to pay the most, and that's probably why they got him in the end. But he's a good player. There's no doubt about that. The quality is not in dispute. And the same with Tonali. Manchester City wanted him. Man United wanted him. The quality of these two players is not in dispute. Thanks, Shahid. Prince Rupert, after the last 2 days of late-night game promises, I'm not sure I believe that, Key. Well, I'm a lot more better prepared for this one than I am the others. To be fair, I did promise last night with Mexico, but the game was an hour delayed. And it said when I read it, I woke up at 1:30, 1:45, and it said, an hour delay minimum. And I looked at it and thought, France and Iraq was 2 hours delayed. I'm not starting live at 4 a.m. And I can't guarantee, like, if I go to sleep and maybe I'll wake up at 3:30, it might have already started, or it might be another hour. So I just knocked that one on the head. Goldbridge will be fuming. Callum says, Key just bought an English to Dutch dictionary. Dutch to English. Time to go bilingual. Good lad. Won't blame you for last night, Key, to be fair. Oh, but you blame me for the other one. Blame me for the Netherlands. Netherlands-Morocco. To be fair, Netherlands-Morocco, that was a health decision. That was like, if I do this, there's a very real chance that I keel over live on air. Gotta think of your health, Key. You did the right thing. Well, I'll still get grief for it, for not turning up, but it's all good. I can live with a bit of grief. Pete, I don't think the Belgian players will watch any more Steven Senegal movies again. Steven Senegal. Adam, thoughts on water breaks being TV ad breaks in disguise? I'll tell you what, I thought it was quite interesting. Maradona, I don't know if you saw the interview that Maradona gave a couple of years before he died, when when this World Cup got announced, right? There was an announcement that the World Cup was going to be held in the US, and Diego Maradona gave an interview on Argentine TV where he said, you watch, the games will be played in 4 quarters. And I thought, bloody hell, say what you like about Diego Maradona. He was a bit of an oracle at the end. But yeah, it's clearly driven by money. And there's already discussions going on, by the way, with the Premier League that might see something similar. There is a serious discussion, by the way, about the Premier League and something similar being brought in, because there's maybe another 100 million worth of revenue to be had just from sponsoring those advert breaks. Sir Vix-a-lot, what you said was every knockout round match. I did, you're right. I absolutely did. Supposed to be hotting up again next week, mate. Fans at the ready. Got the fans at the ready. We're all good. CGLFC, he'd have been on the package during hydration breaks. Especially if you look at that celebration in the 1990... it was Italia 90, wasn't it? Or was it 94? It was 94, wasn't it? And he got suspended after that. Dr. Fagan says it is, but the World Cup is spectacle-based. Players come in fatigued, intense heat, lots of travel. The breaks are fine here. Belgium, ball in. Out on the far side. Senegal recycle it. Sadio Mane loses it. That's a poor piece of play. Here's Luka Bacchio. Tielemans. Lukaku. Oh, why has he moved out the way there? What the hell is going on there? Tielemans screaming at Trossard. Look at Lukaku saying, hey. I think there's a bit of an argument going on with Trossard and Tielemans. Good lad. Go on, you tell him. Oh, yes. I think Tielemans is saying you need to be at the back stick there, Trossard. Get in the box. Why are you stood on the edge of the box? It's right. It's true. You want your players, your attacking players, have to be arriving late in the box. Exactly where you want him. That is Trossard's game. But there's a bit of a feisty end to this one. Spurs for the Premier League next season with a few more signings. Don't think anyone's buying that in the nicest possible way. Listen, Spurs I think have made a couple of very good signings so far. Van Hecke's a good signing as well, by the way. But I don't see a world in which... No, I don't see Spurs challenging seriously, but I think they certainly get top 5. They'll worry some teams. Making Liverpool and other clubs look like a joke. How so? How so, mate? Most teams don't get deals wrapped up during the World Cup. I mean, you've got to imagine the only deals that they've actually got wrapped up are for players who aren't really playing at the World Cup. Like, Matheus Fernandes isn't really involved in Portugal games. He's I don't think he's come off the bench yet, has he? Van Hecke, they're out. They're out. All he had to do was a medical. Tonali's not at the World Cup, full stop. Italy didn't qualify. Spending big money on really good players when we have so many players we need. I know, but Liverpool only really started going. We've already signed 2. We have made signings, but we only really started going last year in towards the end of June, start of July. So we probably see it going in the next couple of weeks. Things will kick up. And by the way, we have had bids rejected, haven't we? Yeah, we have had bids rejected. Now, Bowie, shut up, bro. How's it going? I'm good, mate. How are you? Brendan says number 8 who came on for Senegal needs to calm it down. Belgium are only getting back into this if given a massive leg up. Lukaku acting as Max and Paddy there. Liverpool legends, have you watched every game? Live, I've watched most of them. I think there's been maybe 4 or 5, I think, probably. I haven't watched live. I've done highlights of. It's been a 4 a.m. game. I missed Egypt and Iran. That was a final group stage game. Van Hecke definitely has free time now. He does indeed. Who do you think Arsenal will sign this summer? It all seems to point to Morgan Rogers. Don't necessarily think Morgan Rogers is a smart signing, but I think he is an Arteta signing. So, yeah, Morgan Rogers might be the one. I don't think they make a centre-forward sign. I think it will be Havertz and Gyökeres up there. Wouldn't be surprised at all to see him go back in for Bruno Guimaraes, maybe. But again, is he a significant upgrade on Zubamendi? Is Zubamendi going to go? I've not seen any links about Zubamendi leaving. Maybe he will. Maybe Zubamendi goes back to Sociedad. If he's getting a bit homesick for the old Spanish mountains, maybe. But I can't see too much else. Seabass, what do we think of England playing at the Azteca? I think they'll struggle, mate. I fancy Mexico to win that one. Nabuish getting drunk, bro. Take it easy. Pace yourself. The US one will have a bunch of new watches to get. Can't see it, mate. International football's never really thrived on this one just yet. I think the club football is what's going to do it for us. But, again, we'll see. We'll see. Cheers, good luck to England. Cheers, Seabass. Who's your team? Ben, this maybe... Oh, this Mbai, who's just come on as good potential. Newcastle are linked with him as well. As they are with Lamin Kamara, who's just come on as well. Let's go Bosnia tonight. And Anfield Vortex says, saw today Alex Scott might be headed to Man United. I think that'll be a really, really good move for United if they get that one. Got work at 9, all good. Work at 9. Definitely pace yourself then if you're at work at 9. Every little bit helps. Get back to members and super chat. Yeah, that's it, yeah. I think, best case scenario, I think we'll probably be on about maybe 750, 800 by the end of the tournament. That's absolute best case scenario. I don't even think that. I think probably more like 700. If the US don't destroy Bosnia, it would be a big upset. Bookies heavily favour them. Yeah, I think they will. I'd be surprised if the US don't go through. Arsenal going after Kerim Alashbegovic. Again, can't see it. He's only just joined Leverkusen, and Alashbegovic still kind of learning, still growing, still adapting. I feel like he's probably a year or two away from a big move. He needs to prove himself in the Bundesliga. He's not done that yet. But yeah, definitely talented boy. Nabuish, who's your favourite now? I'd still say Spain. Still can't look past Spain. Senegal now, counter-attack. Too heavy. What the fucking... Who passed that? Honestly, Sadio Mane is going to spin round and be like, lad, what am I meant to do with that? Do you think I've got rockets on my feet? Can't believe Dzeko's still in the squad. He must be getting on now. 41. Or is he nearly 42? He's definitely getting on. Belgium, last 14 minutes. They've not laid a glove on Senegal in this game. Far post. Good defending. That's better. Much, much better. Edge of the box. Got to hit it. Got to start taking some chances here. Here's Lukaku. He has actually looked a bit more dangerous. What a strike! Oh, so close. Go on, lad. Who said Lukaku's got no chance? That was much better. Lukaku's scored 1 goal in the last 2 seasons for Benfica, but he very, very nearly made it count there. Wonderful bit of play. Michael Elise at his finest. Cuts in, curls it, uses the defender. Keeper maybe looked like he had it covered in the end. Unlucky. George, check your facts. Yeah, he has. He scored once in the last 2 seasons. Once, lad. The next England game is at 1 AM, so you tell me. I'll be there for it. Do we get to easier time zones from the quarterfinals, Key? So I'll tell you, the next games are... So, round of 32, July the 2nd. So we've got 1 AM, which is the USA-Bosnia game. Tomorrow we've got 8 PM, Spain-Austria. Midnight, which is Portugal-Croatia. And then 4 AM for Switzerland-Algeria. So that's a 4 AM tomorrow. Then we've got 7 PM, 11 PM, 2:30 AM. And then we jump to the round of 16, which is 6 PM, 10 PM, 9 PM, 1 AM. There's a quarter-final kicking off at 2 AM. Yeah, you've got a quarter-final at 2 AM. As far as I can tell, the only... Oh no, there's a few round of 16 games at 1. It's the semis. The semis are when the games start to get a bit easier because the semis are both 8 o'clock. The final is at 8 o'clock and the third place playoff is at 10 PM. So we'll be covering all them. Senegal v Morocco quarter final could be interesting. That one would kick off, wouldn't it? Well, it's going to be Senegal... No, it can't be Senegal-Morocco quarter-final. Can it? Oh, no, it could, yeah. Could it? No, Senegal would play probably USA round of 16. And then it would be Portugal or Spain in the quarters. It would have to be the semis for them to get Morocco. And Morocco would have had to knock out France for them to get that far. Ben says, do you not think the Belgian manager looks like Will Ferrell? Does a little bit, I guess, Rudi Garcia. He's getting on a bit. What's your favourite game so far? Oh, that's a tough one. I like a lot of them. I thought I'd still go back to the Ecuador-Ivory Coast game. I really enjoyed that one. The Germany game was great too. Best shootout I've seen in a while. Oh, I thought the Germany game was awful. Up before the shootout, obviously. Shootout's always great. The two games that we've seen have shootouts so far, I've not really loved. Either Netherlands and Morocco, I didn't love. And Germany-Paraguay, I didn't love. I didn't think either of them were great games. Japan and Brazil. I thought Japan-Brazil was a great game. That would probably be amongst my favourites. Australia and Turkey was very good as well, yeah. Yeah. Do you know what? The first game of the tournament, do you not think Mexico against South Africa was a really good game? 3 red cards, we had 2 goals, could have been more. Keepers made loads of big saves. I thought that was a really good game. I mean, it might actually have peaked on game 1. What do you think about Mexico versus Ecuador? Great result. Mexico flying. Joe says we're in advanced talks with Manzambi now, Key. Everything is starting to look promising now. Our fans need to stop panicking. Mate, you've sold Anthony Gordon to Barcelona and you've sold Tonali for 100 million. You've replaced him with 2 nobodies and you're arguing that fans should stop panicking. In the nicest possible way, Manzambi and Bouna Toure are not going to get Newcastle in the Champions League competing for Europe at all next season. And that's the standard, wasn't it? That was the standard. You want to compete for Europe and be up there challenging, right? Sunderland are in Europe. There's no world in which you sell Tonali, sell Gordon, bring in Toure and Manzambi and go and get Europe. It ain't going to happen. Ain't going to happen. Prince Rupert says Brazil-Norway will be good on Sunday. We've never lost to Brazil. Fun fact. Did you not play? Oh, you played Brazil in '98, didn't you? Remember that game? That was in the group stages. Rob, it had moments, but as a game, it was crap. South Africa were dreadful. Yeah, South Africa were quite poor. Belgium strike over the bar. Adam says he is right. The time to panic is long gone. It's all over. England, Croatia's up there, says Guilty Spark. I'd agree with that. Brazil v Scotland. Oh. Greatest dive ever. Albert Holsenvine against Holland. 74 World Cup final. Rupert says we beat them 2-0. Oh, 2-1. You did. Yes. That was... Who was it who scored that day? Did Dan Eggen score? Who scored for Norway that day? That's gonna really annoy me. I've got a feeling Dan Eggen scored. Joe, okay, mate. Joe's raging. Senegal in. Good strike. Good save. That's much better from the keeper. Belgium clear it away. Rob says, Key, will Bouna Traore be a good addition to Newcastle? I think he's a talented young player, mate, but I don't think he pushes Newcastle on immediately, no. I think young players take time, and it's a change of direction for Newcastle. I think it's a team that we'll not really see meaningfully competing for Europe again for some time. It might be a sort of building block stage, something that Newcastle take a few years to get back to that level. Ben says, will it be the first time you've done USA? They've all played at silly times for us. No, we've done a few USA games. We did USA Paraguay. We did USA Australia. We didn't do USA Turkey. We did USA Paraguay, USA Australia. Yeah, so this will be the third one. Third game. Rekdal scored the second. Will Johan Manzambi, is he a good player? He's a talented player, mate. He's just a young player. Young players take time. Same with Manzambi. Manzambi's a good player, but he's young. He's going to take time. He's not. I don't think either will hit the ground running. It's okay, Joe. You can watch Catamol ball instead. Lukaku! It's there! It's 2-1! I told you he'd score! Belgium 1, Senegal 2. It's on. The comeback is on. Come on, Lukaku! Big Rom! Go on, lad! Belgium 1, Senegal 2. We've got a goal! We have got a goal! Come on! Rudi Garcia comes alive. Maybe the changes were the right changes. And it was Luka Bacchio down the right-hand side who actually makes this goal, I think. Lovely football. Luka Bacchio knocks it across the face. Oh, it's a great goal. Excellent finish from Lukaku. Actually, is it? I don't think it is Luka Bacchio, is it? No. Looks nothing like Luka Bacchio. Actually, looks nothing like him. But it's 2-1 and there's still time. I think it might have been Thomas Meunier maybe, which is still, again, a sub that Rudi Garcia's made. Got to like it. Got to respect it. Good work. Senegal players are freaking out. What's he freaking out for? Handball? Never handball. Goal given. Easy mistake to make, to be fair, Key. Yeah, I mean, Thomas Meunier, Dodi Luka Bacchio, you'd never be able to spot them. At a glance, you can't separate them. Who wins the Golden Boot? I still think it's probably going to be Mbappe. And Dr. Fagan says, I bow my head in shame. Lukaku is just big boned. Adam says, I was excited to see how Ancelotti sets up Brazil. Kind of disappointed, but not giving up on them. Well, Belgium aren't giving up on this one. Could they get the equaliser and take this one to extra time? David Stewart says, Andre Flo. That's the one. Torre Andre Flo. And Thomas Rekdal, 98, Brazil v Norway. Dan Eggen played, though, I think, didn't he? Remember Dan Eggen? Where did that goal come from? That's the World Cup at its best. Yeah, just a moment. Just moments from teams. Could have said the same with England and Congo, to be honest. England didn't look like scoring before we got 2 in, whatever it was, 2 in 5-10 minutes. Trossard stands it up. Keeper! Oh my God, they've done it! Has he give it? Has he give the goal? He has! It's 2-2! And they're going on again. And funnily enough, it's Trossard crossing for Tielemans. The two who were scrapping just a few minutes before the hydration break. It was Tielemans and Trossard. They were really having a go at each other. Tielemans was raging, saying, Trossard, you're not doing enough. You're not getting into the box enough. And do you know what he did? He got in the box himself. Tielemans gets in there and he gives Trossard a big hug. There you go. It's all water under the bridge. Belgium are back in it. 2-2. We've got a game on, people. Oh, terrible goalkeeping. It's going to stand. The Senegalese they've just fell to their knees on the pitch. The Lions of Teranga. Yeah, it's dreadful goalkeeping, that. It's absolutely shocking goalkeeping. 2-2. Keeper comes out. Absolute fresh air punch from Thiaw. The Senegal backup keeper. Edouard Mendy out due to injury. And Mori Thiaw is the guy who's made the mistake. Funnily enough, quick surprise for you here. Mori Thiaw is the Le Havre goalkeeper who starts ahead of Mpassi Zhao, who is the star of the Congo team. The goalkeeper for Congo is the backup keeper to this guy for Le Havre. Whoever's managing Le Havre, you need your head checking to be starting Mori Thiaw over Mpassi Zhao. You're having an absolute nightmare. Dr. Fagan says the Belgian manager is the smartest man ever. How this strange decision worked is hilarious. World-class managing over here from Belgium. I know. Look at us. Look at us. We've criticised Rudi Garcia. And look at him. He's made the changes that have just absolutely... I mean, have they? Lukaku and Meunier combine both of them subs to make the equal at the 2-1. And then from then on, it always looks like it's going to be Belgium in the ascendancy. We've got 7 minutes of added on time here. This is why you lot are spectators. You lot! Don't separate you from us, Callum. You're just like the rest of us. You thought Doku and De Bruyne coming off was a shout. Terrible shout. What a beautiful sport. Absolutely agree, Northville. How dare us critique the masters of the game. Belgium to score again. There's only 6 minutes left. Lukaku. Oh, he's a big lump, isn't he? He wins it off him. Wonderful play. Big Rom. Plays it out wide. Got to get back in the area. Oh, it's a corner kick. Oh, Belgium driving. They're really driving. Luka Bacchio at the heart of it. Lukaku rolling back the years and rolling the defenders. Unbelievable from Lukaku, that. Spins a couple of defenders. Plays it in. I think that might have been offside. Is it going to be offside? Do they rule the corner out? I think it might be. Is it going to get checked? Does it get checked for offsides? Offside in the build-up to the corner? No. The corner stands. And it's whipped in. Edge of the box. Strike. Senegal clear it away. Lukaku to get a new contract at Man United. Far post. Oh, Thiaw comes off his line and claims it this time. Rob says being a better team since they took Doku and Kevin De Bruyne off. That's true. Football, eh? Football. What can you say? Senegal have lost their heads, says Matty. Everton to re-sign Lukaku. Do you know what? The crazy thing is, Lukaku would still walk in that Everton team. There you go, Rupert's saying it as well. Maybe we should get Ron back at the Ev. He'd be better than Beto. He'd be better than Barry. He'd be an upgrade on them both. What a great match it's become. Amazing. I will say this though. This does kibosh the USA-Bosnia game. I think if I'm doing this one, I can't do USA-Bosnia. FA726, why are you happy? That's quite a deep existential question, that, isn't it? Why is anyone happy? I'm always happy. I'm very rarely unhappy. I'm quite a happy person, to be honest, mate. Why are you not happy? I hope you are. I hope whatever's going on in your life, you're happy. I'm rooting for you, mate. I really am. Bill Philly says, imagine Belgium were to come back and win it. That would be crazy. Rob, some doubted it. KDB was stinking tonight. Stinking. Senegal look like they'll lose now. They are shook, says City of Northville. But they're on the counter-attack here. 3 minutes to go to the end of this one. Jacobs. Two nil. 2-0 you were. 2-0. What do you mean 2-0? Honestly, Lukaku, the walking Terminator, has made the difference. He's been incredible, hasn't he? He has been incredible since he's come on. Scored the goal, held play up well, made a big difference. And we might be looking at penalties, yeah. It might genuinely be penalty shootout. We might have another one going on in this tournament. But it does mean I can't go and have my little nap in between the USA-Bosnia game. That was the plan. I was going to go and have an hour in between the USA-Bosnia game. to give me the energy for that one. I don't think I'm going to be able to do the USA-Bosnia one. Lukaku off the bench has been monumental. Switch out to the right-hand side. Here's Mbai. Inside to Idrissa Gana Gueye. Oh, good effort, just wide. Courtois was worried there for a minute. Ghana, 37 years of age, out of contract. Nearly earning himself a contract with that strike. He's never really been a player that can ping it from distance, Ghana, has he? Seems a bit silly to have a go now, in the twilight of his years. Have you considered taking an Oxford Natural for energy? I haven't, no. Not at this time, anyway. Ghana with a long shot that goes wide. Classic. Belgium ruining my chances of an early night. Yeah. They've ruined all of our chances of an early night. We are all going to stick around for extra time. And probably penalties, I'll be honest. I think this might go the distance now. I do think this one's going to go the distance. Why have you got England trophy next to you? What England trophy? There is no such thing as an England trophy, as far as I'm aware. Key, you look shattered, mate. Definitely get some rest, especially if this goes to pens. Hey, I will. I'll be getting some pens. I'll be getting... Listen, I'm already shattered, you can tell. I'll be getting some rest after the penalties, no doubt. The USA-Bosnia game can take a swan dive. Take a swanton dive. Okay, Senegal threw it away in the last few minutes. Belgium 2, Senegal 2. Extra time coming up. They've bottled it, says Jerry McCringleberry. No, Matty, I'm not, mate. No, I'm only going to do this one. If it's extra time, yeah, I'll just do this. I'll do this in penalties and that'll be it. Extra time upcoming. And the clock's reset. That's good. Okay. Just making sure. I don't think we've done... Have we done extra time? We must have done extra time since they had the new overlay. Sure we have. Reckon the USA game will be decided within 20 minutes the way they've been playing. But it's Bosnia haven't been brilliant either, to be honest. So I expect... Yeah, I think I'd probably agree with you on that one. Jerry, I understand why you guys love calling teams bottle jobs. It's fun. I mean, it's right. It's appropriate when it's relevant and it's accurate. I think in this case it is. Senegal have certainly bottled this one. 2-0 up, comfortable. How many times did we say they've got to take the chances? Who was it who said 2-2 at the start of the stream? I think it might have been you know. Right. We've got... Did they have a 15-minute break now? Have we got another advert, another hydration break in the middle of the advert break that is to extend the hydration break? I never know what they're doing. I don't know if there's been any permanent changes for the World Cup. Let me go and grab another bottle of water because I think I'm going to need it for this extra time. Jerry says my prediction was 2-2 Senegal to win on pens. I was going to say, everyone sort of favoured Senegal. Everyone tended to say Senegal. And I did, I'll be honest, I thought Senegal as well. I was surprised that Belgium were able to turn this around, especially after taking off Doku, taking off De Bruyne. It looked to be a stroke of genius from Rudi Garcia in the end, and it just goes to prove, look at, we're all fools at the end of the day. I don't think at the time, though, I don't think there's nobody would have said, what's he doing that? Nobody would have said, yeah, that's a great move, that's a smart move, that. He's took off two of their most dangerous players, if not the most dangerous players at 2-0 down, and inexplicably, they have got back into it. Who's winning this in your opinion? Senegal. I'm going to stick with Senegal. Belgium are certainly in the ascendancy. But I'm going to go for Senegal. Conceding 2 goals to Belgium without Doku. Hey? Oh, yeah, without Doku and De Bruyne as well. If it goes to pens, you would have to fancy Belgium with Courtois in goal. I don't think it does go to pens. I think it gets wrapped up. I think it gets wrapped up in extra time. I think Senegal score. They've got players they can bring on, Senegal. This is what I was saying earlier with them. I looked at the Senegal bench and I thought, there's some players there that they should have started. Like, I'm astonished that they've not brought on. You know, they took off Habib Diarra, who's the goal scorer. They took off Pape. They've took off Iliman and Dye. But, you know, they've still got Nicholas Jackson. They've still got Assane Diao. Here is Nicholas Jackson. Nicholas Jackson, I think, can score. I'd be surprised if we don't see Assane Diao maybe coming on as well. I rate him very highly. Rob says 98 out of 100. The 2 people were Rudi and me. No, you never said take them off. You never said that, Rob. You're reframing history there. You never said that. You just said De Bruyne has been terrible, and I agree with you. But I don't think you would take him off. I don't think if you were in the technical area there, you wouldn't have taken him off. Jackson and Diouf have come on. I can see a Senegal goal on the break. Me too, Aaron. Kieran says it's a shame Italy aren't at this World Cup. Could have seen them go far in this tournament. You must be joking me. No chance. That's why they aren't in it, mate. I was going to say they got beat by Bosnia, and Bosnia haven't exactly pulled up any trees, have they? Long ball forward from Belgium. Oh, didn't get me water. Hang on, let me get me water quick. Okay, back. I'd have said, Kevin, come and sit down next to me, pal. You've looked a bit lost out there today, like Home Alone. Kevin! Remontada is fully on for Belgium. I think they're going to get turned over. I think the chance for Belgium to win it was actually in extra time. Sorry, in normal time. Immediately after they scored. I thought that was the chance. I think Senegal will have regrouped. They'll have regathered themselves. They'll have composed themselves in that little short break. CG says, disagree. I think Senegal have bottled this. Senegal with the mother of all fuck-ups. Okay, well, hey, let's see. Let's see. In fact, go on, let's do a quick poll on it. Sadio Mane being taken off. That's a big, big, brave move, that, isn't it? That's a very, very brave move, I've got to say. Didn't think we'd see Sadio Mane come off the pitch. Right, there you go. There's our options. Belgium in extra time. Belgium on penalties. Senegal in extra time. Senegal on penalties. Which one are we saying? Belgium have a massive confidence now, and Senegal should just leave the pitch for 30 minutes and come back out. Both teams look knackered, I will say that. They look absolutely goose, don't they? Long ball over the top. Belgium head it all the way back to Courtois. Moyo says, will England beat Mexico? Not for me. No, I think Mexico win that one. Gooners Villains, how's it going, mate? Prince Rupert, this is the night for big coaching moves. Tonali and Fernandes to Spurs. What's everyone's thoughts? I think they're fantastic moves, that Gooners Villains. I think it's a fantastic bit of play from Spurs in the transfer market. I think they've got them for fair value. And it massively improves them. I think it gives them a huge spine improvement for the Premier League. That's exactly the sort of thing you want to see for a team that can compete for Europe, I think, next year. I expect to see Spurs finish in the top 5. Kieran says, do you reckon Russia get unbanned anytime soon? Oh, mate, I don't know. I mean, then that's asking political questions, and honestly, I don't keep up with it. Do you know what? I've not got the energy for it, because I just feel like it's one thing from the next, one day to the next. It's different stories coming out from different sources, and this happened and that happened, and this is gonna happen. Oh, it's just nonsense, and it's exhausting, and it's real people dying, and football's just a bit trivial when all that matters, isn't it? So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe they will. Maybe they will if the war stops and shit calms down. Maybe it will. Don't get why we're banning nations when they're preaching keep politics out of sport. Well, they keep sport. It's relevant when politics is. It's being used as a bit of a tool, I guess. I think it's a tool to try and sort of force them out of society, but no. North Korea qualified for the 2002 World Cup, didn't they? Was it 2002? It was 2002, wasn't it, North Korea? Surely it was. Or was it 2006? I can't remember. North Korea qualified anyway. But long ball over to the right-hand side. Belgium. Good football. Going to be a corner, is it? No. Senegal squeeze it away just about. Ismail Assar, that's better. I just hope we get Bruno Guimaraes. I don't care how old he is, he's still class. I mean, he's 28 going on... He's 29, isn't he? Shortly after the season starts. Bruno's 29. I don't think that's... You're not going to get him for what you bid for him. 55 million is what Arsenal bid for him. Newcastle don't accept 55. And I think now they've sold Tonali, I don't see him accepting anything. I think they'll hold firm and say, Bruno, you're going nowhere, mate. Unless Bruno really, really kicks up a fuss and is willing to jeopardise his relationship with the fans and everything. I don't see him leaving. Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, this is it, Kieran. It's exhausting because you can't really keep up with it. Or at least I don't. I have no interest in it. I've no interest in it because it just feels... I say no interest. Generally quite apathetic because there's no fix. There's no obvious fix there. There's no obvious fix. Just stop killing people, you bellends. That's all I would say. That's my stance on it broadly when it comes to war. Just stop killing people. Stop being a knob. Stop killing people. That goes for all sides. I don't care. Keep politics out of sport. It's ingrained in it. Look at the last 3 World Cup hosts and then the 2034 one. It's true. Sports washing, isn't it? It is sports washing. What was it the Romans said? Whenever the people shall need a hero, we shall give them one. And this is your modern day gladiators. Big Will, what a game this is now. I mean, if anything, extra time is kind of taking the sting out of the game. It was a fabulous game going towards the end. I thought that we'd see Moriera has just livened things up a little bit for Belgium on that side. Oh, that's a good pass. Well blocked. And that's the referee. Let's give a free kick. How's he give a free kick to Senegal for that? Never a free kick. How's it going, Adam? Prince Rupert, I've been watching the Netflix documentary on FIFA and the corruption is just hilarious. Funny thing, this was under Blatter and it actually seems worse under Infantino. Just researched it. It was 2010. North Korea qualified. That was it. I remember them qualifying and they played, I think they played, didn't they play Brazil? Sure they played Brazil. But yeah, I remember them. I remember them qualifying. All you need to know is they all piss in one pot. Yeah. It's very lucrative war, isn't it? Very, very lucrative. Jed Spence and Dan Burn are out on our modern day gladiators. Didn't they play Portugal and Ronaldo scored a lucky goal? I don't know. They might have. I can't remember. For some reason I remember. I always remember. I don't know why I've got Brazil. Did Brazil play South Korea? No, they didn't, did they? I always thought it was Brazil who played them, but maybe I'm wrong. There you go. They played Brazil and lost 2-1. That was it. Yeah, I remember that. And I think their goal was a penalty, if I remember correctly. We've got 5 minutes to the end of the first half of extra time. Do you think we're going to have penalties here, I'll be honest? I thought we'd see a better start to extra time, but I think both teams look knackered, like properly knackered. Mark says there should be a rival to FIFA, give them a challenge. Too wealthy. They're too wealthy, and again, they're too ingrained in politics. They've got too many friends in high places. Because I think countries look at it as a way to improve their image, don't they? You know, forget what we're doing over here. Look at this we're doing here with the World Cup. Big chance, nearly 3-2. Yeah, forget all this stuff. Shiny, shiny, shiny. Look at this. That's what it is, basically. They also played Portugal and lost 7-0, and Ivory Coast and lost 3-0. I remember every North Korean player crying during the national anthem. Well, you would, wouldn't you? You would. Swear the owner of... Again, I couldn't tell you, mate. I couldn't tell you. Again, from my perspective, it's so... I would say there's been far more intelligent people than me that have tried to unfuck that situation and many situations like it over the last however many years, decades, and it's never happened. So I don't think I'm going to make any meaningful inroads on a stream at 11:15 at night. Ignore the freezing pensioners, we're hosting the Euros, that's it. CGLFC, who's killing people now? Oh, we're just talking about how sports washing is used to change narratives and to improve PR of countries that are maybe involved in things they shouldn't be involved in. We're a very diverse bunch here on the Matchday Tavern. We cover all sorts, not just is Tenali good value for money, or what's your favourite national dish. We also talk about sports washing. Three minutes to go in the first half of extra time in a game that really only came to life in the final sort of 10 minutes. It looked like Senegal had this wrapped up after 50 minutes. Just before the hour mark, they're in front, they're coasting. You're expecting Senegal to go on and maybe score 3, score 4. Belgium take off, inexplicably take off. The two best players, Kevin De Bruyne and Doku. I'm looking at the screen. Everyone else seems to be looking at the screen, apart from Rob in the chat who said we was bang wrong. Every one of us is looking at the screen going, what is Rudi Garcia doing? He's taking off their two best players, needing 2 goals. They're 2 goals down. They've not laid a glove on Senegal. And he gets it right. He gets it right. Meunier and Lukaku come off the bench. They score the first goal. Belgium in the ascendancy. And Tielemans and Trossard link up for the equaliser. It's been a fabulous, fabulous end to that first, to normal time. And then we've gone into extra time and we've not really seen an awful lot from either team. Here's Trossard though. Good block. 60 seconds left. It's going to go out for a goal kick to Senegal. Prince Rupert, Saudi Arabia hosting 2028, aren't they? No, 2034. 2030 is... isn't 2030 the one that's being hosted across like 4 continents? I'm sure it's Portugal, Uruguay. There might be a game in Africa and I think Tunisia, Morocco, like stuff like that. I'm sure it's being hosted across 3 or 4 continents. Yeah, it's mad. Key, have you ever met Andy Burnham? I've not, mate. No, I haven't. I haven't met him. And again, I can't say I've got an interest in meeting him either. Mark says, in that case, do you think we should vote for who should be president of FIFA, perhaps? No, because do you know what, mate? My take on it is, if you're asked, is it doesn't matter who you elect. They can't do anything. I think the people in power aren't the people who are actually in power. Put it that way. And that sounds very conspiracy theorist-esque. But what I'm saying is, I think if you put someone who was totally morally sound in power and said, right, you make the decisions that will guide this country to guide FIFA to the right place, they'd just get totally corrupted. They wouldn't be able to make the changes that you think they'd be able to make. Portugal, Spain, Morocco are neighbours, so that works. It's not just Portugal, Spain and Morocco. It's Portugal, Spain, Morocco, Uruguay and some others. Yeah, there's games in South America as well. So it's a bit of a mixed bag for the 2030 World Cup. Yeah, it's Morocco, Spain, Portugal, Argentina, Uruguay and Paraguay. Yeah, there's 6 countries hosting the 2030 World Cup. Gooners Villains, I think the exact same, Key. I mean, again, people will have their own view, and that's fine. I don't think who you elect in any position of serious power is kind of inconsequential, in my opinion. People with morals get unalived. Well, yeah. Yeah, they do, don't they? They do. First they come with, here's some cash. Here's some going, if you can do this for us, we'll make you more comfortable. We'll give you this, we'll give you that, we'll give you the other if you just make these decisions. That tends to corrupt people. And then if you don't accept that route, if you say, nah, not doing that, then they come back stronger. And they come back with, listen, do as we say. Do as we say. And if you don't do as we say, yeah, that's... Rob, are you doing USA Bosnia, Key? I'm not, mate, no. I would have done it had this game not gone to extra time. Absolutely not, Joe. No. Absolutely not. Faris says, which goal do you think is goal of the tournament? Goal of the tournament so far. What would we say? Goal of the tournament. There's been some good ones. Amad Diallo the other night for Ivory Coast against Norway was very good. And Mbappe's was an absolute screamer, wasn't it, against Senegal? Trying to think of others, maybe. Kane's today, you'd be hard pushed to say that wasn't a great goal. Yeah, Kane's strike today. That's what I mean. There's been a lot of good goals. They've all kind of been much of a muchness though. Yeah, there's been a lot of good long distance strikes. Noosa's was better than Ahmad's. Yeah, Noosa's was good. You're right. Noosa's was very good actually. I'm trying to think of ones like that really stood out to me that I've really enjoyed. Not really in any of the Brazil, Morocco, Haiti. I don't know, I'm really struggling. The Egypt goal versus Belgium. Yeah, that was actually quite a good finish. That was a good goal. Ball out to the right-hand side, floated in, header, out for a goal kick, too easy. Oscar, what are you watching it on? It's on ITV1, mate. ITV1. Isidore's was a rocket. Yeah, Isidore's was very good as well. Colombia goal via Uzbekistan. Which one? The one at the very end? The 3-1? Or the Munoz one, the first one? Colombia have been brilliant. I've really enjoyed watching Colombia in this tournament. Watching this game now with Spanish commentators. Let's hope we get a goal. Oh, here we go. Here's Onana now. Onana coming on for who? Onana. What's his name? Messi against Jordan. No, I mean Messi. It was Messi Algeria. Was it Messi Algeria? Or Messi Austria? Which was the one we watched? Messi. It was Messi Algeria, I think. The one where he pings it. Yeah, it was. It was Lucas Zidane. Yeah, that was the one everyone was going mad for when Messi smashed it top corner. But Lucas Zidane should have saved that one. Philip Bidwell, I think that the 3 games in South America is because it's the centenary of the first World Cup in Uruguay 1930. It is. It is. But still, they are World Cup games, right? They're World Cup games, and the World Cup is officially being hosted across 6 nations, basically. Senegal down the right-hand side. Ball pulled back. Must be. Oh, have you missed it? Who's that? Nicholas Jackson again. Was it Nicholas Jackson? Oh, and by whoever that is. Oh my God, how have you missed it? Ball gets played out to the right-hand side. He pulls it back. Oh, no. You've got to score it. It's Mbaye. It is Mbaye. That is so bad. He's got to stick it away. And you can see Tielemans. Look at Tielemans. He's going. It's my fault. It's my fault. Onana's coming on. Wouldn't have thought Onana would come on for penalties. Trossard taken off. Onana coming on. Onana famously missed a decisive penalty for Everton against Fulham. Sorry. Everton against Fulham. In the Carling Cup or the Carabao Cup, wasn't it? Elanga versus Japan was good. Keeper reacted late to that one, though. Have you not rated Egypt to watch? They've been good. They've been all right. Yeah, they've been okay. Oh, this one's a bad one. I think we might need an injury. We might need a stretcher here. Yeah, player's gone down. Always nasty when he lands like that. Never like to see that. Yeah, Egypt have been okay. I just when I think of Egypt, they were a bit flat I would have expected them to go at Belgium. I really thought they should have won that game. Lucas says, Senegal, you have respect from me. Belgium are going to win this now, says Mr. Al-Shamari. Well, we've got 10 minutes of extra time, and then we have got penalty kicks coming. Diego Moreira's gone down. He seems okay. It looked like maybe concussion. But the way the players reacted, I'm always panicking. It looks like, they maybe swallowed their tongue or something like that. I remember that terrible penalty. That was so infuriating. They raged at him after that. Felt like his relationship with Evertonians changed after that, because it was so casual, wasn't it? He kind of did a half step and then just passed it down the middle, just when Everton really needed him to score. I think I'm right in saying that would have put Everton through as well, wouldn't it? And they ended up going out. I'm sure it was like Onana needs to score and Everton go through, because they were in the ascendancy. And he missed it, and then Everton subsequently went out a few pens later. Where's Timbo today, Key? Yeah, he was in earlier, mate. He was in earlier. I'm surprised you would ask. I don't know. I don't know where any of you are from day to day. I've not quite got you on Find My iPhone or anything. I've not got your movements tracked yet. To get the old 5G on you. Activate the old COVID chips. Rob, not seen Jelly for a while. Jelly was banned by 3-Star. I wasn't here when it happened, but I think he was only suspended. I don't know if he was banned, but he's been suspended. I don't think he is still banned, as far as I'm aware. Strike! Straight at the keeper. Yeah, I think he could come back in if he chose to. He certainly could come back in. I've no issue with him coming back in anyway. I've no issue with anyone. Samuel says, I want to see Tottenham get relegated next season to the Championship with their signings. You're not going to see that. Tottenham will be competing for the top 5 with their signings. They've done really well. It's been a very, very good moment, I think, for Spurs, I've got to say. Securing 2 big players. But forget Spurs. Belgium, Senegal, World Cup, riding on this. 7 minutes to go, plus maybe a penalty shootout. What are we making of this one? Jerry says, we said that last season, and where did they finish? I know, but I think you've got to account for the massive amount of injuries they had, and to such key players as well. Maddison, Kulusevski, Kudus, the signings that they brought in weren't available for the most part for them. They were playing Archie Gray at centre-back, and then they changed manager twice. I think if De Zerbi stays for the season, I think you'll see a much better Spurs. Nicholas Jackson does well there. It's a corner, Senegal. Big move, Spurs, says CG. I've heard Munoz can play left or right, Key. Where would you play him? He's primarily left-sided. He can play right and he can play through the middle as well. But yeah, he's primarily left-sided. Here's El Hadji Malik Diouf coming over to whip the ball in from this corner. Left-footed, so it'll be an in-swinger. Jackson is rubbish, says CGLFC. Here we go. El Hadji Malik Diouf, left-footed, in-swinger. Too easy. Keeper's going to claim that one. Easy for Courtois. All day, every day. No problem. Nicholas Jackson. That's it. He's done well, though, since he's come on. He's actually looked a bit more lively. Ball goes out on the far side. Poor from Belgium. Very poor. Tielemans holds his head in... hangs his head in shame. I bet they wish they could put De Bruyne back on now for penalties. You'd want De Bruyne taking a pen, wouldn't you? This charming Dan, even with their injuries, Spurs should have still been nowhere near a relegation battle. I think it's more down to some of the players being lazy, troublemaking twats. And again, if that's the case, then you would imagine the priority for the manager would be to get some more experienced heads in, some players he trusts, and to kind of rebuild the culture a little bit. I think Van Hecke, Tonali, Mateus Fernandes is a wonderful start. I really do. That's a vastly improved spine for Spurs. Van der Ven, Van Hecke, they know each other. They play regularly at international level. You know, I think that's a good sign for Spurs. And obviously, yeah, you've got, Mateus Fernandes, Tonali. You can't really ask much more from a midfield pairing. De Zerbi did miracles at Spurs. I thought he was fantastic. I thought he deserved, fully deserved, to... Yeah, I thought he fully deserved to get them a little bit higher. They ended up finishing 12 points off Europe. But if they'd have brought him in sooner, you'd have to think if they'd have brought him in rather than Igor Tudor, maybe they would have been in and amongst the European places. Because 12 points really ain't that much. And there was a massive improvement from when he came in versus Igor Tudor. Down the left-hand side, Moriera. Oh, must be Lukaku off the bar. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. That was a moment. That was it. That was the chance. That was the chance. Belgium down the left-hand side. Ball played back in. Oh, and it just falls. It's Luka Bacchio, actually. It's not Lukaku. It's Luka Bacchio. Oh, he's got to finish that. He's got to hit the target. Got to hit the target. So poor. That should have been the winner. Rudi Garcia gutted with that one. Who won Manager of the Year, by the way? Who did win Manager of the Year, actually? Wasn't it I think Arteta won it. Did Arteta win it in the end? I don't know. I can't remember. Might have been. I think it might have been Arteta. Was it Arteta? Mark says, Key, do you think Everton will get Europe this time? Behave yourself. No, Everton won't finish top half. Everton won't finish top half. I said it last season, and I say it again. They won't finish top half. They're miles off it. And there's always VAR check for a possible penalty here. A VAR check for a possible penalty. You're not getting a pen for that, surely. What's the penalty check here? Possible penalty for Belgium in the last 90 seconds. Is he going to go and have a look at it? Whoa! Whoo-wee! We're going to go to pens anyway, so pens is definitely going to settle this, but we might only need one pen to settle it. I think there might be a check on this as the ball comes in. Oh, he does kick him. He does kick Tielemans. Yeah, do you know what? I've got to be honest. I think that might be a pen. I think he's going to get sent here. He's going to get sent to the touchline, and this might be a penalty for Belgium. Oh, my God. Senegal might need to walk off the pitch again here. They might need to walk off the pitch again. The referee's going to go and have a look at this. It looks like it's going to be a penalty to Belgium. With 60... It is. He's going to go and look at it. Oh, with 60 seconds of extra time left. I can't believe he's going to give this penalty. Graham's saying there's not enough in it for him. He does kick him. There's no doubt at all. The ball comes in off the left-hand side. Tielemans going to get there. And he gets kicked. It is a penalty for me. It's a penalty, that. I'm sorry, that's a penalty. Belgium are going to get a pen with 60 seconds to go, and they're going to win this game. Unless Thiaw can pull off some miraculous save from a penalty, we're not going to go to penalties. It's going to be Belgium nicking it in extra time. Oh my God, from 2-0 up as well, Senegal. How have you contrived to throw this away? Oh, it's an astonishing end to this game. It really is. The referee's taking a long old look. Oh, 100% bang on pen, says CG. Yeah, he does kick him. Look at that. He does kick him. There's clear contact there. There's a kick. This drama. Drama. The walking off the pitch jokes. I'm telling you, there might be another walk-off here. There might be another walk-off. They're walking off the pitch, Senegal again. This is their hallmark now. Right, we're going to hear from the ref. I think he's going to give it. I think he has. Senegal players are raging. They're furious. They're going to exit the World Cup after being 2-0 up. I can't believe it. It's never a pen. It's no different to Kane's. Of course it is. Miles different to Kane's. Kane's was rounding a goalkeeper. Here we go. End result. Penalty kick. He's given a penalty. Oh my God. What are we witnessing here? Oh, I tell you what. Thiaw in the Senegal goal has got to produce a moment here. This is shocking. This is absolute magic. I cannot believe what we've witnessed. It's been a wonderful night, but Pape Thiaw, the Senegal manager, he's lost his head. Rudi Garcia on the touchline has had a moment of genius. Somehow, Diego Moreira on the left-hand side has completely changed the game. Lukaku, Meunier changed the game. We all said in that second half, we all said, Rudi Garcia taking off, De Bruyne taking off Doku. When you're 2-0 down, what is this manager doing? He's had an absolute shocker. I can't believe he's done it. Well, Rudi Garcia's made all of us look like fools. Absolute fools. It's great stuff from Belgium. And it is a penalty. It is a penalty. There's no doubt at all in my mind. It is a penalty. And it's a pressure penalty, this. If ever you're going to need a cool head here, if ever a cool head was needed, it's right now. And is it going to be Lukaku? There's a Senegal player down on the penalty spot. What the pissing hell's going on? There's a Senegal player gone down on the penalty spot here. Having a right kick off. It's all kicking off here, folks. Just want to take this time in between this penalty break to make sure you hit the like button as you're watching. Make sure you're followed if you've not already. Key Thomas, the Matchday Tavern, Lukaku's. I think it's got to be Lukaku to take this penalty. It's got to be. It's absolutely got to be. I don't know why there's a Senegal player down in the box. What happens? I think. Do you know what it is? Do you know? No. Do you know what it is? The Belgian players are standing on the penalty spot to make sure that there's no tampering with the penalty spot, to make sure there's no players going over and stamping on it and making the turf lift up a little bit. It's going to be Lukaku to take it. This is a pressure penalty if ever you needed one. Big Rom. Big Rom. They all said he was washed. And it's a massive, massive moment in the World Cup. Might be the most controversial moment of the World Cup so far. Oh my God. Lukaku. Have you got it in you, lad? What are you made of? Romelu Lukaku versus Thiaw. He's missed. He scored 4, missed 1 for club and country. Scored 4 out of his last 5 pens. He tends to go low as well. Looking at that penalty. Look at that penalty chart. He tends to go low. So I think we'll see him go low and to the left maybe. Oh, can't watch. Edouard Mendy can't watch. Tielemans putting it down now. Is it going to be Tielemans? I think it's going to be the captain. It's going to be Yuri Tielemans to take it. Lukaku's given the old pump fake. The old rope-a-dope. Tielemans right-footed. He scored. It's there. It's 3-2. Senegal are out of the World Cup. What is happening? It's absolute madness. It's chaos. I can't believe that referee. Senegal, they'll be cursing him. He'll do well to get out the stadium. I can't believe it. The referee, I think he has to give it, though. He has to give that penalty. It is a pen for me. And Belgium, in the last moment, the last kick of extra time, have got a penalty, and they've scored it from 2-0 down with 10 minutes of normal time left. They've somehow managed to get back and win this tie. I cannot believe it. It's one of the great World Cup comebacks. One of the all-time great World Cup comebacks. And it's a fabulous penalty from Tielemans. You're not saving that with 3 keepers. That's a great goal. Great goal. And Tielemans has orchestrated this comeback, by the way. He scored the second and he scored the winning penalty as well. Big shout out to Aston Villa's Yuri Tielemans. He's done very well tonight. And 3-2. Senegal. Tears from the Lions of Teranga. Look at that. Fans crying in the stands. Whoo-wee. Right. Belgium they've got to win it now. How many minutes of added on time are you going to get? Not many, I would think. Senegal are going to throw themselves to the ground every minute. Long ball forward. Laid off to the edge of the box. Strike. Oh, over the bar. And it's going to be a goal kick. Goal kick. I'm kind of right. The game was decided on pens when it was 2-2. You were right. He did say it was going to be decided on pens. But probably not in the way that we've all seen in the end. Game of the tournament, says Callum. I think you're right. I don't think anybody saw this comeback. It's been a hell of an end to this game. And I think the referee's going to want to blow the whistle sooner rather than later. Probably when he's very close to the tunnel. So he can get off the pitch alive without any sort of skirmishes. Because the Senegal players, the coaching staff, the fans, they'll be out for blood with him, I'm telling you. It's a big call from him. I think it is right. It is the right decision. But they've been absolutely raging at that referee. Cheers, Anfield Vortex. What a guy. Game of the tournament so far, Key. Yeah, everyone's been saying, Key, what's the best game? What have you most enjoyed? I think it has to be this one now, doesn't it? This is the undisputed game of the tournament. Unbelievable. Just flee the country, ref. You're in danger. Senegal got to launch the ball in the box. They've not got long. They really haven't got long. They've got to start taking some chances. Good block that from Lukaku. Excellent play from Rom. Come on. They've got to do something quick. We've not got any sign about extra time or anything. I don't know how long we've actually got left. That might be it. I don't think we're going to get much longer. They've got to get it in the box sooner rather than later, though. Stood up. Headed out. Belgium clear it away. Ref, you've got to blow your whistle, lad. You've got to blow your whistle. Belgian players will be going mad as well. That's going to be a yellow card for sure. That's got to be a yellow. 10 minutes. If it was 10 minutes, they've got another 60 seconds. The Senegal fans look absolutely gutted. I mean, I wonder who Belgium could get next then, says Anfield Vortex. It's the winner of USA and Bosnia, which kicks off at 1 a.m. Kicks off in an hour. Strike. Lukaku boots it away. They've really not got long. Senegal won't score. Bringing on Jackson was then waving the white flag. Oh, he was alright. Far post. No, they've goosed it. They've absolutely goosed it. Straight at the keeper. Courtois takes it. Nothing wrong with that. And I think that could be it now. They're looking at the referee. They're all asking for the whistle. Oh, is he going to blow this time? Are we going to get another attack? Trump better give that ref some Secret Service goons. And Gooner's Villain says that was never a pen. I have to disagree. I really do. Oh, Moriera. That was the chance to kill the game at 4-2. Belgium on the counter-attack. Prediction for USA-Bosnia. I think USA win that one comfortably. Senegal, got to hit it. Playing for a handball. And it is. It's a free kick. Edge of the area. Free kick. This has to go in. This has to go in. This is it now. Everything rides on this. Free kick. Edge of the box for Senegal. They have to score. Handball. Basically on the line. There might even be a VAR check for this. I wonder if that was in the area. Was it a penalty for Senegal? I tell you what, he has a shot. It definitely hits his hand. He runs out like that, the defender. But I think he's going to give a free kick edge of the box. It's not a penalty. But I do wonder whether or not that might be checked for where the VAR, where it actually was. But yeah, you've got a free kick now. Free kick. And it's going to be number 17, Matt Sarr of Spurs, standing over it. It's a big ask, innit? It's a big, big ask. Even the goalkeeper's up. Even Thiaw's up. They're all on the edge of the box for Senegal. They've just got to smash this. They've just got to smash it and hope for the best. If it hits the target, Courtois isn't keeping this out. It's Mate Sarr. Oh, my God. I can't watch. I can't watch. Sarr. Oh, over the bar. Sarr over the bar. And that's got to be it now. That's got to be it. He's got to blow up. He has blown up. It's there. It's Belgium 3, Senegal 2. What a game, folks. What a game. This has been incredible. What a night. Tielemans, there he is. Tielemans has box man of the match, hasn't he? That might be one of the performances of the tournament from Yuri Tielemans. What a cracking game, says Mr. Al-Shamari. It's been unbelievable, this one. What a night. What a night of football, eh, folks? You just can't beat this. Just think, people like golf. People like cricket. People like F1. They don't watch this. It's fucking mad, isn't it? It's crazy. Absolutely love this stuff. I love this game. Anyway, right. USA Bosnia at 1 a.m. I'm goosed. I don't think I've got the energy in me for USA Bosnia. I was planning to do it if this one was finished in 90 minutes. But I'm not going to do USA Bosnia. I'm going to be back tomorrow, which is at 8 o'clock for Spain, Austria. Spain are my tip to win it. Spain are my tip to win it. We've got Spain, Austria, 8 o'clock tomorrow. Then we have Portugal, Croatia at midnight. And then it's going to be possibly Switzerland against Algeria, a 4 a.m. kickoff here in the UK. If you haven't already, listen, if you're new to the channel, if you're new to the Matchday Tavern, my name's Key. We watch games of football every single day. We usually do 2 a day, sometimes 3 a day throughout the World Cup. If you like that sort of thing. We also watched 500 games last year. 500 games across 2025, across all sorts of leagues, all around Europe. Premier League, Championship, League 1, League 2, La Liga, Serie A, everything. Champions League, Europa League. Soon as the World Cup finishes, guess what all the other watch-along channels do? They all shut down. They all buggered off on their holidays, talking about transfer rumours. Do you know what we'll be doing? We'll be watching Hearts against Sturm Graz in the UEFA Champions League qualifiers. Right. Oh, football. Lots of love, everyone. Have a lovely night. I will see you all tomorrow for Spain against Austria. Ta-da. Have a nice night.